Alright, start things up. So last time on Icewind Dale, Rime of the Frostmaiden, since it's been a bit, we did actually find ourselves basically coming back in with you guys returning, for the most part, from Jinglong, I believe, to the Ten Towns. Uh, Sorry, actually, that's not completely true. It was awakening from the night after having done that, I should say. You guys came back in at Caerconic, where, some light conversation was had in the morning. You kind of were fed some interestingly good soup from the two sisters who were running the inn, which led to Kara eventually kind of discovering their tried to be well kept secret that your friend Ravnus had actually left the soup pot with them while he and his friend had scattered off into the wilderness to make some extra coin. Um, Kara kind of said to them, "Listen, I recognize what that is. I know it's okay. I'm not going to do anything about it." And so the sisters were friendly enough to give her some soup for the dogs. And with that and the conversations had, you guys decided to set out on your day, returning eventually. I believe your goal was to Bryn Shander, but the eventual or the first place I should say that you ended up stopping was East Haven along the way. Once there, you kind of found yourselves stopped by some of the guard. Not that they were being aggressive or anything, but rather they all were looking for you. They said to, they were informed to or ordered to direct you to the town hall when you guys returned, where Imdra was supposedly looking for you. Once you did so, basically the town guards said, "Okay, we'll take your dogs to the inn for you. You can get them over there and choose to stay in the night or keep going, but they're looking for you inside." And you went in, and Imdra was definitely there, and so was Valine. And strangely, in the corner was your friend Pleuzac. You guys came to find Pleuzac and Imdra were both helping Valine while she was kind of planning this. We'll call it a caper to some degree for you guys to go to Auril's island. Um, and basically, her intention is you are to retrieve two items: a book called the Codicil of White, and what she was calling a Professor Orb, Professor Scant specifically. With that, you were, given decent information on sort of what the island layout is. You know that it's definitely got some harsh terrain. It's going to be tough to get there, and you really don't know where these items are, but you do have some kind of concept that they should be kind of towards the outer edge of the island. And you are aware that in the dead center of the island is where Auril lives. So it's up to you guys what you want to do when you get there, but that was kind of the advice given. Um, Search the outer edge, get the items, leave. Now, how you were supposed to get there and leave was given up to three choices, essentially. One is to try and convince the Goliaths to let you take griffins, some of the Sky Tower, Goliaths, or Sky Tower shelter Goliaths. Which you guys kind of said, no, no, we respect them and they respect their animals too much, so we're not really going to go that option. And so she told you guys, okay, well, there's some prisons that operate, and boats have to deliver supplies, so you could find probably a captain good enough to maybe sail that way. And you guys were like, okay, I guess maybe, but not really. And then she told you about a whale named Angajuk that you guys kind of heard about before. And supposedly Angajuk could swim peacefully beneath the waves, beneath the shifting icebergs and the tons of ice in the sea of moving ice, and get you to the island safely. And you all kind of collectively said, "Yeah, no, I think we're game for that. We've dealt with awakened creatures before. It's not too bad. We'll give it a shot." And so that was ultimately your decision. Again, she gave you a good layout of where to go and kind of the known rumors, but you had already heard most of them. So with that, you basically set off, waved her goodbye, and headed towards the inn. You did decide it was early enough for you guys to travel towards Bryn Shander, so you grabbed the dogs and headed on your way. While doing so, you guys kind of decided that when you got there, it was time to sit down and really kind of talk to your new companion, Wilton, who had found you out in the wilderness before, figure out what he was about. So you got to the bar at Bryn Shander, realizing it was too late to try and hit the blacksmith or the alchemist like you were planning on for so save it for the next morning. And you guys just grabbed a bunch of drinks. You guys conversed. You started to talk to Wilton, and Mallo kind of decided he was going to start by doing some of his new alchemy training. He was eventually kind of shooed over towards a windowsill to stay off the wooden bar since he was basically starting fires. Um, And during that time, he kind of realized it was less important to him than learning about the Wilton guy. So he went back and forth a couple times. And ultimately, the bar owner just asked him, "Hey, listen, can you just bring the mugs that you left over there back over?" And Mallo said, "Of course, no problem," because he's a good guy now, and we all like Mallo now. Uh, maybe. And then, as he went to retrieve the last drinks over there, that was when the party kind of noticed a bit of a shift, or at least Kara. The bar was suddenly mostly empty, or at least people were leaving, which in and of itself wasn't super interesting because it was getting later at night. But she did notice that the last person left in the bar suddenly stepped forward and grabbed up at Mallo and slammed him up against a wall while grappling him, essentially. And she kind of pointed out to the group, and at the same time, Mace's rapier of warning kind of rattled in its sheath and warned you guys enough that there was no real surprise on any of you. Mallo was a different story, as he was quite stunned to find a man glaring down at him, saying, "Hi, Mallo. I'm your dad. I want answers." With that, you started combat. It was kind of a interesting fight with a lot of different mechanics going on. The whole party did definitely jump to attention, get a good couple swings in on the Hex, but he seemed relatively unperturbed, at least during the first round. Kara kind of went to jump to action, and once she struck out at the Hex, she found kind of this assortment of metal bands wrapping around her body as someone threw an item at her. She was quickly restrained, fell to the table that she was on, but for the most part, she was able to still talk and guide the party. You guys quickly realized this situation was a bit more threatening than perhaps you at first realized. So, you tried to take and recontextualize, maybe figure out a different strategy, to which I believe the first person to actually ask about it was technically Harrison as Leif, which was, should we attack the Hex or should we attack this other guy, which you quickly realized was your new companion, Wilton, who declared himself the Hex of the Fetid Curse, Mallo's oldest brother. Kara quickly, with her, only remaining functioning appendage, her jaw, saying, "Yes, attack the kid, that's fine." And then Leif went and attacked the Hex again. And then Mace was like, "Yeah, let's attack the Hex." And then realized after, like, "Oh no, wait, maybe the kid would be a good choice." But regardless, none of you really ever focused in too much on Wilton, and the Hex was able to kind of absorb more blows than you seemed to believe was going to be possible at first as a general, except for maybe Kara. She knew it was coming. And ultimately, it led to Mallo being focused down pretty readily by his father's fists, and eventually splayed out across a table, his old mask replaced across his face, and a finishing blow be dealt to him that resulted in death. It was at this point that the Hex kind of took that mask and tried to apply it to his face, and you guys all noticed that something was happening. And the party got kind of a final round to try and either stop the Hex from escaping or do some final damage. But ultimately, the Hex was able to learn what he had been asking about the entire fight, and he kind of laughed about it and put the mask back on Mallo's face, put Mallo's old mask next to him, and told his son, Fetid, "Time to leave. We got what we needed." And he kind of waltzed out the door. I should say, actually, Fetid waltzed out the door first, but not before dealing a nice savage kick to the side of his brother Mallo's head. You could all see the joyous grin on his face as he did so. And then he left, and the Hex left behind him. And basically you all sat there for a moment as players feeling quite defeated. I believe Mace's comment, or Claw's comment was the most apt, which was, "I knew we would probably get our asses kicked, but I didn't think it would be that bad." At which point, Chris finally was able to give the group the "I told you so" that she's been sitting on as Kara. "Yeah, how do you think I felt dealing with it alone?" So, with that, now the whole party has a much greater understanding of that threat and why it is, as I say, as a DM, an end game threat to deal with. But otherwise, you all found that your characters suddenly blacked out, and we will find ourselves coming in at the next morning here. You all know it's the next morning because, for once, a decent amount of sunlight seems to, come in through these windows on the right side of the room. Mace, you would be the first to awaken, and for the first time in your life, you realize that it is awakening. But in this instance, you're not able to move. You're laying on a bed. You can feel it underneath you, but your optical sensors, or whatever you want to call them, they're not turning on, or however you want to describe it. You're kind of sitting there just, well, it's sleep paralysis, but you don't know what that is. You've never had it before. So for now, you're just on your bed, aware that things are kind of happening, and the first thing that you can kind of feel is at your side, Chance starts to wiggle. You feel the tendrils kind of split, his half split apart into those little legs he uses, and you feel him walk up next to you. And he just plops himself down next to your head, and he simply tells you, I have a message. Sorry, it's actually the wrong Chance at this point. I have a message for you. I don't think you're allowed to get up until I do.
Okay, and who's exactly... What is going on?
We were sort of saved. I, it might just be ready. And Chance essentially just like flops himself. He takes the tentacles and like reaches over your face, and you can kind of feel it happening. He's like gently with three of them feeling across, and he just settles himself like on top of your head, almost like Leif's hat, but a little bit more on the forehead, like on top. Leif's slug, I should say. And with that, you are going to be dragged down. And that's why I'm trying to get this out of the way
Oh,
first. Yeah. So this should be pretty quick.
all right.
Let me find it. So as soon as the attachment completes, I guess you feel an unbearable psychic connection. It is so heavy that I am going to need you to do a wisdom saving throw.
Okay. Do you want me
However,
to do it to DM?
no, I want you to do it live, and here is why. You are going to enjoy this, and I want the party to enjoy this. So go ahead and do that
Wisdom
live.
save?
Yes,
Okay. Normal. Yeah.
perfect.
Right?
It wasn't supposed to be advantage, but you do get the first
Yeah.
number. And actually, that was as the wrong character. So let me say, uh, you now have some roll assistance from Chance when it comes to certain things.
Okay.
This being
Interesting.
one of them. So, with between your 14 and Chance's 18, it's most certainly hold on. So always, um, between the two of you, you're able to withstand this kind of psychic pressure long enough that you feel a connection to something far beyond yourself. This is the first time that you realize, maybe since you gave, your oath, you feel something that's not your magic touching you. But it's not something you've ever touched before. You would assume pretty readily, based on what Chance has said in the past, this is probably one of the gods that he's been speaking with, um,
Hmm.
just by your, paladin nature.
Yeah.
However, it is only one thing that kind of hits your mind, which is another mass of psychic energy. It really kind of comes through as more of like a right, but
Yeah.
it would be a deep thrumming kind of sound of um, and this isn't supposed to sound like the hex. If it does, it's different. But it's just I'm trying to go for another
Yeah.
otherworldly kind of. It's
Yeah.
supposed to be deeper. Hopefully, it comes through right now. But
Garbly. Yeah.
yeah, um,
The one who seeks my power has overstepped his bounds. A deal has been established. Rules have been created.
and with that, I need you to give me an insight check.
Okay. Insight is not my forte, but we'll see.
Yeah, that's okay
What?
because once
Yeah.
again, Chance is at least here to help you. So between the two of you, you are only going to learn one kind of thing here. There is a general sense that there are four words in that phrasing that are a bit off. I'm going to repeat it one more time. I'm not really going to write it down. I'll try and go slow. If you want to take notes, just let me know. But I'll
Sure.
I'll be specific on the words for you. So, the one who seeks my power has overstepped his bounds. Period. A deal, and that word feels fuzzy to you, has been established. That word feels fuzzy to you. Rules, that word feels fuzzy, have been created, and that word feels fuzzy. So you can understand very clearly there's a concept that this thing is trying to
Uh-huh.
express to you. The way that your mind is able to get it is that the one that seeks my powers oversteps its bounds. A deal has been created, rules have been, or sorry, a deal has been established, rules have been created. But
Hmm.
clearly there is something more that this being, its power is almost too much for you to understand fully at this moment.
Right. The concept is too large for my mind to grasp.
Yeah, so you can meditate on this sort of phrasing in the future. The way I'll do it is just, during long rest or short rest, it's an hour that you just take to meditate because you can do that kind of passively. And it would just be
Hmm.
another insight check with chance to see if you can understand it further.
Yeah, that's fine.
Because I think it will help. This is related, I will tell you, because you would also get a sense of this too very clearly. The one who seeks my power, even though you didn't insight it very well, you think is related to the hex. It's the only recent event that could be similar to this that Chance could have been talking about. So
Right.
the rest of the information seems like something probably important for the group. You would think so. Just so you're aware
So,
already.
you mean in terms of like the nature of the entity talking to me?
The nature of the entity talking to you is very different. But you can tell the topic, the subject of his phrasing, the one who seeks my power, you think to be the hex. So he's talking about
Right.
the hex in this phrase.
Okay.
So something related to what has just happened is why I'm saying you would assume that it's probably got some import.
Okay. Gotcha.
And that's
Uh,
basically it. As soon as that line kind of goes through, Chance can, he's basically barely handling this energy because it's the force of a god. For him, it's not so bad, but he can tell that you're suffering, especially considering your wisdom save was a little less. So he quickly cuts the contact and he kind of flops off the side of your head and seems actually tired. It's not really a normal thing for him, but you know him well
yeah.
enough. You can see he's laying there floppy legged, not really fully combining his haft yet. But
Yeah.
otherwise, you realize you can actually see him, and you can otherwise sit up. So we'll pop you back up to everyone else.
Sure. One thing before that.
Absolutely.
Just off sidebar real quick.
Hmm.
I was wondering if you'd we could somehow it's hard to phrase, but I guess what I want to try to do, maybe passively over time, uh, is try to ascertain, I guess, I guess the nature of uh, the power of uh, that is behind Chance and well me
Absolutely.
as a warlock essentially. Because
Absolutely.
what I'm trying to rationalize here is, we've talked about me potentially grabbing an oath in terms of paladin.
Yep. No, yeah, I
Um,
already can kind of read where we're going from.
I do
Yeah.
not. What I don't want is for well, if they clash, they clash. But
Hmm.
I ideally, I want to make sure that I'm not stepping somewhere where I'm going to just fall into a pitfall.
Absolutely. No, 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 no. I understand exactly where you're coming from. Um, so yeah, I'm going to tell you it's the same. I think it's the same concept. And when it comes to you definitely have a skill set both from your upbringing and from your class of being like a paladin to understand the forces to be. So we'll just do it the same way that we would with this kind of phrase, because this phrase is realistically, yes, it's guidance, but it's guidance from specifically like a greater power. So it's the
Yeah,
same thing in my mind. You're trying to figure out the machinations of a greater power, whether you're believing in the god or not. Doesn't matter. You're trying to
yeah,
understand. So same thing on a rest of some sort, short, long, whatever. We'll say you just do an hour of meditation. You can focus on Chance, and you're just sitting there chatting with him, and it's just a matter of like, okay, so I want to understand this power you're starting to get, and we'll just do like probably Arcana rolls is what I think makes the most sense in that regard. Um, Arcana or religion, I guess, could, but just basically the same thing. Spend an hour meditating. If you want to do it like twice on a long rest, they'll probably even let you get away with that. It's no problem. But yeah, slowly but
yeah.
surely you can kind of learn things just through rolls. I think it's totally fine.
All right. Yeah, that works. Awesome. I'll go back up then.
Yeah, see you up there in a sec. Just writing a note. Okay, so with this, Mace is now moving around. Chance is kind of on the bed next to his head. And everyone else in the room is awake as normal. You all kind of find yourselves generally awake at the same time, sitting up, sliding off your beds, if you will. Otherwise, you just kind of can lay there. But none of you would have really noticed anything happen with Mace. You just would see Chance laying kind of on the pillow next to him with his haft split into its tentacles and just kind of splayed out a little. And it takes him a minute or two to reform it into a haft, and then Mace can finally grab and re-equip him. But otherwise, just seems like a pretty normal morning. Oh, I should say everyone except for Mallow. Mallow's still laying there.
Am I
Like knocked out,
conscious?
or
I don't know. I think the party should probably check on you. Is I think the best way to start it, considering what happened at the end of last time.
I mean, I did throw a healing spirit on him before
Mhm,
shit
mhm.
hit the fan at the end there.
Yeah, I'm
well,
aware.
seeing as I'm the first one to
So are
rise,
you.
I'll just
So,
see that everyone is sort of like coming to except Mallow.
Mhm.
I wouldn't necessarily concern myself, but more so, approach. And I mean, I assume he has his mask on, so I guess I'll touch him to see if he's got a pulse.
so it would be his original mask. I don't know how zoomed in you are, but on the chest at the foot of his bed, his new mask is currently sitting. You can still definitely check to see if he has a pulse. I just, wanted to inform you before you did that it is indeed his original mask on his face currently, not the new one.
Right.
Do you still want to do the pulse?
Yeah, I'll just check for a pulse.
Yeah. So
And
I'll tell you with a free check. You don't have to roll anything. You definitely feel a pulse. Feels pretty strong, pretty ready. You think that his body seems like it probably got a long rest. This seems kind of more like maybe a mental issue or something. You're not really sure. As it currently exists, though, yeah, he's just laying there.
I might regret this, but can I try to remove the mask?
Absolutely. And you find, it's not too much of an issue. You lay your hand on it. You're a little nervous for a moment. You're actually almost looking around, making sure that people are awake just in case something happens. But you grip down on it. You go and remove it from his head. Nothing. Nothing. And then you kind of realize, okay, his eyes are closed. Doesn't seem to be snoring, but he's breathing.
Stab him.
I don't know.
Okay, well,
Use the hammer on his skull.
it's time. We must free him from his mortal coil.
Pillow over face.
That's too
I mean, he would probably just grow more nostrils from some other orifice.
Bottom of his feet.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
But yeah, I mean, I guess I'll just nudge him, shake him a bit, try to see if he comes to.
Perfect. So yeah, you kind of nudge him at first. It's a light nudge. And as you lightly nudge him, Mallow, do me... I need a wisdom save from you. Ooh, okay. That's totally fine.
That's great.
No, it's okay. So the nudge still awakens you, Mallow. But it's interesting because the nudge does wake you. But you don't know what it is. Something's happening, but to you, the last thing you remember, the last thing you feel like you've remembered for maybe 8, 9, 10 years. Yeah, it's been 10 years that you've been floating in this darkness. This nothingness. But now it's... Okay, that was stronger. And that's a hand on your shoulder. A shoulder? You have a shoulder? You haven't had a shoulder for years. No, you're back. Finally. And with that, you will awaken. You have 1 level of exhaustion from failing the wisdom save.
That's great.
But otherwise, you did receive the extent of the long rest. But just note that for you, something is very off. It feels like it has been about 10 years since you were last in this body. The exhaustion, actually, if anything, is probably a good way of representing that. But yeah, otherwise, Mace, you would see Mallow's eyes finally do open. He maybe takes one really deep breath. And Mallow, you can...
What the fuck is going on?
There you go.
Where
Uh,
where the fuck am I?
Lying in a bed in an inn.
A bed?
No.
What? What do you mean?
Exactly what I'm saying.
There was nothing.
Um,
Forever.
well,
Everywhere. Nothing. What do you...
yeah, you might wanna write that kind of thing in your like dream journal or whatever you kids have these days, but you're here, alive, all of us are, I think. But yeah, you got me as doubting for a moment. I thought, well, never mind. As I just lightly just drop his mask back on top of him.
His old mask? Okay. Yeah,
Yeah, I
so
won't put it on his face. I'll just like let go of it.
yeah,
He
so
goes back
Mallow,
into a coma.
I
I
will tell
throw
you,
my mask across
yeah,
the
I
room
was about to say
immediately.
you respond like it's a fucking hot coal. Yeah, that you don't want that thing on you at all, for sure. Yep.
And I immediately like huddle in the fucking corner, just in the fetal position.
My dream has
I'm
come
assuming
true.
the mask hits near me.
Yeah, why not? That's fine.
Oh, so now you want to get rid of it?
Mallow's just hiding.
Kara will, like almost mechanically sit up in bed, just like ramrod straight.
He didn't talk back. What the fuck?
Who the fuck are you?
Are you talking to me? Or are you?
Yes, I'm sure she's staring at Mallow right now.
I know we all took a beating, but it's not that bad, right?
I don't know.
What's your
Why?
password?
Yikes.
I'm also trying to remember at the moment.
I know what it is.
I know
but
what it is.
yikes.
I think I wrote it down. And
You're
then
gonna get killed.
I wiped
You know-
my computer.
There's a lot of times that I cut large gaps of silence out in the editing. I think I'm gonna leave that one because the yikes is so perfectly timed.
Something it's out of character. I know it's something to do with fucking Fred's character.
No, it has
No.
nothing to do with Fred's
Oh
character.
god. Oh
Nope.
god. The soup is
Nope.
good.
No, that'd probably be Leif if I had to guess anything.
No,
I
Is
don't
that
know.
what you're
wasn't Larry's
saying?
Yeah,
password.
but that wasn't mine. Yeah.
Mallow doesn't remember. Mallow's been nothing for 10
10
years.
years. Yeah, that's pretty fair.
I'm pretty sure Kara has them all written down, but
I wrote them all down too. Yeah, yeah, because I was worried that this would happen.
But how do you know that's really Mallow if he doesn't know?
I said my dumbass saved them in a Word document,
Dumbass.
and now it.
I do have them all too as well. Yeah, but of course
Okay.
that only makes sense. We need to know whose is whose.
Kara, like battle axe intensifies, steps over to here.
Battle axe intensifies. Man, need to make that a gif out of something now.
Just, what is the last thing you remember?
Nothing. Black.
Yeah.
Empty.
So you don't remember being thrown around a bar last night, engaging with your father and one of your brothers.
It wasn't last night. That was 10 years ago.
Also, we didn't get engaged.
Just side eye over to Mace, like not helping.
That was 10 years ago.
Afraid not, pal.
That was 10 hours ago.
I know what she meant now. Dear God.
A little elaboration would help. As of right now, we don't know who the hell you are, because you don't seem to remember the password, which means you're not the person we were speaking with last night.
What? What is he? Again? Just gonna start pulling rope out of my backpack.
I am Mallow, but I don't remember what we set in place. It's been 10 years. There was nothing. There was no sound, no feeling, just black.
Do you know who we are?
I remember your faces and who you are, but I don't remember what I was supposed to say to make you believe me.
Tell us one thing about Mallow that only Mallow would be able to tell us.
Fuck the mushroom guy.
That's him.
Everyone would know that though.
That's fair.
It's fair, but it's also accurate. Kara will go over to the mask that was previously on your face, grab it, put it on the chest here, look to Mallow. Do you care about this thing anymore?
We tried to destroy it once. We can't destroy it.
No, we didn't. You said it was indestructible. We never attempted to destroy it.
Be my guest.
Mace, you think Chance could crack this thing?
No harm in trying.
Okay, so you're gonna try and break the mask. Okay. Well, before you
Valkyric
swing,
inspiration.
yeah, go for it. You can do that. I mean, number reset as well. I think it's the same as proficiency bonus per day, so it's down to 2 now. Mace, you would have an extra d6 on any attack roll, saving throw, ability check. Anything a bardic inspiration would help you on.
Right.
You'd take this mask in hand, maybe set it down on like one of the chests in the room, or like a windowsill stone. Something you feel like you could hammer him pretty easily. You raise Chance above your head, and right before you swing, he's like, "Oh, hold on, whoa, whoa, whoa. Okay, if we're gonna do this, we should do it right, and it's not gonna work here." Do you want to still swing through?
I'll stop midway
Yeah.
and say,
Yeah.
what do you mean? I get that we might do some property damage, but that's kind of not the point here.
The mask is like me, so if you want to break it, we should probably break it with one of my new skills from, the guy you spoke to.
Okay,
Otherwise,
wait.
it's not going to make a difference. I hit it, it hits the rock breaks.
I see. You want to elaborate on the mask being like you?
I'm magical, it's magical.
Well,
I might be
Well, it's
more
kind
so,
of-
but we both don't break.
yeah, it's true. Magic items don't break that easy. We can try it. Sure. Let's try your method.
You just kind of feel like a mental nod from him, but he definitely would.
Maybe outside or outside town even, it's going to be noisy. Remember that thing I hit the dragon guy with?
Oh, yeah. Okay, I get it.
Assuming I'm hearing only half of this
party.
conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll turn to the rest of the party and say, well, Chance makes a good point. The mask is still magical, so even though, it's a fragile object in question, it's not gonna break that easy, even with if I hit it with it. However, I see he seems to have a different way of approaching it, but it might be louder and more attention-grabbing than we might want to right now. So preferably outside the city.
Works for me.
Great. I'll
since
hold on
Chance
to
seems
this
to-
if you don't mind, as I grab the mask.
Since Chance seems to be able to detect whether they have become magical items, what about this one?
What are you showing him?
The other
was
mask.
Oh. Anything?
He would extend out a tendril, like looking like he wants to touch it.
I'll, let him approach it, close enough.
Yeah, he touches on the forehead of the mask, and it like he taps it 2-3 times, and you hear like a light crack, and he's
Oops. I think it's normal.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Kara will pick up the mask and offer it to Mallow. You still
I
want to wear one?
baseball bat that motherfucker away.
No, your new mask, the one you
I
made.
understand that.
Yep, that's
I
fine.
baseball bat that motherfucker out of your hand.
Well,
In an actual moment of compassion, Kara's just kind of gonna look at him and go, "What did he do to you?"
Mallow's just muttering to himself nothing over and over and over and over again. And you can see all of the blood vessels in my face have turned black going into my eyes.
For the first time since Kara has known Mallow, she's just kind of gonna sit down next to him and just give him a hug.
Yay!
You feel as it happens, Mallow shudders, and you can feel all of the skin, all of the body beneath you,
sizzling.
no, more it's undulating because it doesn't know what the fuck is going on. It's trying to get away in a sense because it doesn't understand touch anymore.
I mean, you fight it, but she's gonna try.
No, it's not a fighting thing. It.
He's almost like got skin ASMR is like what he's saying. Like his
Ah.
yeah, because he's got so much more flesh control than a normal creature. The sense of heat against his skin, we'll say, is causing it to almost like shudder. Is I think what
And
he's trying to
just-
describe.
Yeah.
You know, in I guess a motherly fashion, just kind of in a hug, patting his head, like, "You're gonna be okay."
And the interesting thing is, Mallo at this point would definitely be calmed by this gesture, but you would once again remember back to Serena and think about the times that during training there would be things like you reach the end of a long day, you'd feel like this was the worst life ever, you hate everything, and you'd get to chat with her for a minute or two, and she'd give you a similar hug, and she'd be like, just like before, what I told you when she would say, things could always be worse, Mallow. You'd kind of realize like she was dealing with problems like this and still willing to try and comfort you, and you just kind of appreciate her in your life a little bit more than you did the last time you saw her.
Yeah.
Well, while this is going on, Kara is gonna look over to the rest of the party and go, "Did he take Serena's mask?"
You would definitely not see it anywhere in the room. You're observant enough for that.
Last time I knew about its location, it was in Mallow's bag, so I honestly don't know if it was taken or not.
It was discussed during the session. Like there is in the last video, if you want to go rewatch, it is pretty clear. If you want to, in terms of like BTM reminded, just roll me a history check. We'll see if Kara remembers.
We'll roll a
further
history
combo.
check because I honestly don't remember if during the whole
Yep.
fight that it was
And that
taken.
goes for anyone across the board. If any of you remember what happened with it, that's fine. If feel free to spit it out for her. If not, you can do a history check, and we'll just see who remembers. Someone will get a high enough number, I think.
Can I roll at like disadvantage?
You automatically have disadvantages because I think of exhaustion.
Of
level one.
exhaustion,
Exhaustion, yeah.
That's why I was like, it actually is kind of thematically fitting that you have that.
First
right
level
now.
of exhaustion is actually the worst, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's pretty heavy. Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
but
that ain't-
so
That
yeah.
ain't helping.
Yep. No worries.
No, it popped up. You're good.
No, I said that ain't helping.
How about you, Mace? Do you want to try and remember? And you as well, Leif. You can
I'll
roll.
try.
You were there.
Hell yeah, I was there.
Why is my picture still showing up wrong?
Oh,
hate
I
that.
had advantage.
It's
on
okay.
for some
That's
reason.
fine. So both
Because
of you.
when you go to, like, if under the chat you see as whatever name, you
Yeah.
need to select whatever your token is.
Unless
Yeah.
you changed your actual profile picture. In that case,
Yeah.
Yeah, in that case, you're
Can I
screwed.
get rid of my profile picture?
Somehow.
sure, but
In
I don't think you can
settings,
do it from
yeah.
here. I think this is only character in here, but
Oh, you would
profile
have
is
to do
outside
from
of
the
it.
other one.
Yeah,
Regardless.
that's why you assigned your picture to your sheet as opposed to your,
Yeah, definitely makes it easier. Lost my train of thought for a second.
Serena's mask.
Yes, thank you. So, definitely with both of you being above a 10, Leif, you would both of you would remember this much. The last time that the mask was in any visible way, it was in the Hex's hand, and it was tucked away under his cloak before he started swinging at Mallow during the start of the fight, essentially. Mace, you would most certainly remember that once again, even by the end of the fight, it never left from under that cloak. So you would be pretty sure that the hex
That he
held
has
onto
it.
that. Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
But yeah,
And
I just
actually,
include
though,
that knowledge.
do me an interesting thing, Kara.
What's up?
I think it was you, so I'm just gonna go off this. It was something back, I think in the fortress. So give me an insight check, because maybe it wasn't even then, but I feel like it was you who mentioned it. Regardless, give me an insight check. We'll have you be the one to see.
Mentioned what? I might know offhand.
Just give me the insight check. It's an easy DC. Yeah, I was basically 5. You would kind of have a concept. There was a time where, back in the fortress, Mallow's mask had been returned to him. And over time, you guys have kind of realized why, and you're kind of sitting there like, oh, he probably wants to bring the mask back to Serena now that he knows she's probably alive. Yeah.
Well, no, I already had that assumption in the first place.
Yeah. No, I'm just giving it as Kara definitely recognizes that as kind of, yeah, this is most likely the case. It's his MO at this point. He's pretty consistent in that regard. So, you as the player notice it, and your character most certainly does as well.
Well, I don't foresee us dealing with the Hex in any nearby capacity. He's most likely looking for Serena. As for his children, that's a different story.
How many more are there?
We know of 3 in total, Serena being one of those 3. If I had to guess,
Hundreds.
that,
I will tell
Gotta
you,
get to Rona, huh?
Mallow, you would only be aware of enough to be counted. Well, you would be aware of enough to be counted on 2 hands, but the number of that are probably still alive, as far as you're aware of, is like anywhere between like 4 to 8. Because keep in mind, as far as you're aware, you've killed a couple of the ones that you've come across. So
That is true.
Serena, as far as you're aware, is also not part of the group anymore. So it's another one off your tally. So in terms of active hands, you think it's probably under 10, but you don't know how far. Is maybe the best way to say it. But it is true. It's the Hex. He could have fathered probably a whole bunch more kids that he just didn't give a shit about. So you're not wrong.
The only ones that matter, though.
Yeah.
Probably
Yeah.
less than 10.
well, we'll need to keep an ear out for anything related to that then.
Haven't we this whole time?
No, we haven't.
I mean, even when we were looking for his sister, she still got the jump on us, so... As much as I...
That's because we were
Lie.
told at the time that there's no point in looking for them because they'll find us, so we really didn't look for them.
That's fair, I guess. Not to add onto the, bad news or anything, but,
It's only the right thing to do. We take stock of what we know and what we don't know. We prepare for it so we can counter it if it shows up again. It's not a criticism, it's an accurate analysis.
yeah, well, I do have, well, not exactly news, but maybe a chance imparted onto me, or helped me, rather, to become aware of certain information that is of dubious origins and not exactly concrete. But it leads me to believe that some way, somehow, the Hex now is within arm's reach of whatever his goal might be. Suffice to say that I believe that might be the case, and you've known me to be a skeptic for a while, so take that as you will.
Shit-eating grin. Did you have a talk with God or something?
I wouldn't say God. Certainly a higher power.
Kara, with your passive perception, you just notice that like at Mace's hip, Chance, let me put his picture back up quick. Let me see
No,
if
I
can
never. I
get-
remember what it looks like.
So no, I have like a picture now. If you look at my emblem, so like
Okay.
see how there's that like red gem that's kind of his eye. You just
Mhm.
watch that whole head of the hammer just kind of nod at you.
Point being, whatever this was is apparently what the Hex has been trying to emulate, attain, reach. And
Good.
now it seems at least concerned enough that it's reaching out.
Well, you know more on the subject than we do right now, so fill us in as we go.
Well, that's kind of it. I only grasped bits and pieces of the message. Of course, I'll keep trying to, I guess, contact this thing, but as it stands, we should be wary, is all I'm trying to say.
Kara, the hairs on the back of your neck kind of raise as
Mhm.
he's saying this. And you would receive just a simple message from Freya. He is correct, be wary. But what you seek is something smart. Assist him where you can.
Can you clarify that a little bit?
He has a mechanic that he has to do to further understand what he's talking about. Your god is recognizing that as someone who has more experience with gods, you might be able to assist him somehow. How to do so
Okay.
is something we'll have to figure out, because you'll have to wait for
Okay,
that
no,
mechanic
just-
to come up. But you are
just the-
now
the-
able to get yourself involved because this topic has been brought up.
The issue was what he seeks is something smart. The he in the question was I
Mace.
wasn't sure if it
Mace.
was Mace or the deity.
You would
That's
understand,
why.
Yeah, you would understand it to be Mace in that question. Yeah.
Okay. Kara would look down to Mallow and just, are you good, or do you need more time?
Considering that he's told us he's been in the void for 10 years, I think he's had enough time.
I mean, she's still been holding on to him, trying to comfort him. And so if he says he's not good, she's not going to move.
You're gonna hear like a little audible like snap, and then I'm just gonna stand up, and you can see like one of my eyes is like bloodshot with like blood inside of my eyeball. I'm just like, let's go then.
That seems healthy.
Kara just, hand to the side of his head, and I'll burn a healing spell to fix it.
You're not gonna fix the eye. Nothing's wrong with it.
It's not a face, Mom.
I mean, she just
This is who I am.
She just watched her companion's eye pop, so she's.
No,
just,
it's not.
you know.
It's
I know the blood is seeped into the sclera and all that. It's not actually destroyed.
Well, and it's
but...
Mallo. I think what he's saying is he's kind of, the way I understood it,
Forcing himself to snap into it.
yeah.
yeah.
Okay. She'll respect that and just gather up what we need. Let's visit who we need to visit and move on. To the point we made earlier, though, we need to start paying attention for signs that the hex isn't here. However it is we do that.
I do wish we knew a little more about him. I mean, of course, we've had several encounters. We've, met him, talked to him, talked about him and his family or whatever Mallo was willing to disclose at the time, but it's daunting trying to fight an enemy that always seems to have more things under his pockets, or whatever the phrasing is.
Well, if there's any sign of good news, you did see behind the veil.
Yes, but not by, well, literally by chance.
You take chance where you can get it. Anything that will swing the tide.
Both of you kind of watch the hammer look between you two, and he's kind of excited because he knows you're talking about him.
It's like, oh my god, I'm being included.
Not even included. He's just like, yeah, I did that. That was me.
I did that.
I'm the chance you take. That's right.
Well, you're right. We take him where we can have him, but I'd still like to have, I don't know, ground to stand on.
So how about
Though I
this?
suppose we'll find it eventually.
Yeah, just because there are a couple things coming up in relation. Why don't we say the party at this point, since you seem to have all kind of at least started to gather yourselves for the day, would start heading out and figuring out where we're going to go next. So, first and foremost, if you want to stop in the bar downstairs, feel free. But I will need just a decision in general. Where is it you're kind of going? I know that Mallo had intention to go towards a blacksmith at one point and an alchemist if there's one available. I think Kara as well was looking for Miss Danica Greysteel. Was that right? I think that's her name.
Yes, I had to turn in a dragon bone to her.
That is correct. And if in fact Kara would suddenly remember that Danica was actually an alchemist, so it kind of is fitting that Mallo's looking for one anyway. So you guys can go do that if you wish, or at a minimum, I would like to know kind of how are you guys going to go to Angajuk's Bell at the end of it? Because that is something you guys have the location of. It's the plan of where you're going to go, but we haven't discussed yet even the extent of where are we going through. So
for that, Leif, do you need anything?
Oh, that's fair.
I
Yeah.
don't think so. No, I think I'm good. Yeah.
I'm gonna go to the blacksmith.
Alrighty. So you want to do? Anyone else want to go with him? And do you want to do that before the not herbalist? What was I saying before? My brain.
Alchemist.
Thank you, alchemist. My brain was drawing a blank. Are you guys gonna go smith first, alchemist? Are you gonna split the party? What's the intention?
So I'd just like to understand here.
Mhm.
This is essentially our coming together to go fight Auril, kind of, yeah?
We're going to her island.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, which is where we assume she is.
She is definitely there, and you can fight her if you wish. Is maybe
Right.
the best way to put it.
Right, because our objective wasn't to go there to fight Auril, it was to recover something, I think, right?
items.
Correct.
Yep.
In terms of what you're looking for, that is correct. If you choose to
Okay,
go
okay.
fight her while you're there, that is the decision that the party can choose to do or not.
Yeah,
That's,
no, no,
you
no.
know,
I
that's-
understand.
Yeah.
I
To be
don't
clear,
think necessarily
that is
that would be the
Kara's
wisest.
goal.
So wait, you've made it abundantly clear then that you want to fight her once we're there.
Yeah, I did. I did a while ago. Kara's goal
Okay.
is to drop that god.
No, I know. I just didn't know whether you were biding your time or like anything like that.
No one's really questioned me on the matter. They asked what my goal was, and I always told them, kill the god. Oh,
Mhm.
no, let me clarify. My goal was to end the endless winter.
Mhm.
My assumption is kill the god.
Right. Okay. I think Mace's position on that would be yes, let's kill the god, but also let's not run in there like chickens with their heads cut off. And
We're gonna have a couple days on a whale to discuss the tactics of the how, the whens, and
That's
the
very
whys.
well, what I was the only reason I was asking was because I thought about maybe, starting to send letters out being like, oh yeah, this is it. But if we're not necessarily committing to the idea, maybe it's not a good plan to do so.
Again, we've got time to figure it out. As it is right now, we're doing something for Valine, and she mentioned don't fight the god because we might be able to get something to combat the god, unless I'm misremembering that.
Yeah, it was less about get something to fight her and more Valine's eventual
Nedge.
goal is to find a city that she believes could assist you in weakening Auril beforehand. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's either you go in there when she's as strong as she is now, or you could potentially cause her some harm first and then go in.
Right. Which I think better idea.
Hmm.
Anyways, that'll just be my vote
Yeah, no,
regardless
that's fine.
in the
And much to
future.
Chris's
And
point, you guys can actually discuss that in greater detail as you get on Angajuk. I'm more talking in the immediate term. How
yeah,
do you want
just
to go from here?
in that case, I'm not gonna spend any time sending letters or anything of the sort. I think I don't know. I'll stick to the rest of the party unless we're all following Mallo to the blacksmith. Uh, and whenever
fine.
we are leaving this town, I'm gonna try to break the mask.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, so with that, we'll go back to, I guess, since you two are the ones who really have the goals, Kara and Mallow, do you want to split and do one to each, or do you want to stick together and then go
No,
one and one? Or
stick together. I'm down to go there.
okay, that's totally fine. Okay, so, and then before I delete it, the new mask that's gone. We're done on that.
Nope. No more asks.
That's totally fine. I'm just making sure. Alrighty, awesome. So with that, do you guys want to stop downstairs for food or anything, or are you just gonna walk out?
Make sure something. I should now.
I mean, probably eat before we leave, but I think Kara would be good to not get food at the moment.
Alright, so just place yourselves at the bar downstairs if you guys want to stop there quick. But otherwise, we can get going. Kara goes to stairs. That's fair enough. Lake goes to the bar,
Just swinging
Mace
by.
goes-
Just need just a quick drink, just a little, yeah, maybe a slap of fish in it. Yeah,
Yeah, so you would
ale and
notice-
fish.
You would say the bartender's kind of like, he's turned around at first, just attending, putting some glasses on a shelf behind him, and he pulls one down, turns around to you, just a big smile on his face, seems like a jolly old man, no issues in the world, pours you a drink, slides it across the bar. He's just like, "Yep, hey, okay, sure. You want one for the road too? Haha, you like to drink, don't you?"
Yes. Yeah, I could. Yeah, we could do another one.
Alright,
We could do
For
another
your
one.
sake, Blake, do me an insight check.
Oh yeah, that's good. That's gonna be great.
That's okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
okay, never mind, you're good. Just happy to
This
have a
is
drink.
new Mallow, by the way.
Yeah, it's fine.
Be careful, everyone's a mimic.
Dude, I got a mimic chest Lego thing for Christmas.
Oh, that's
Nice.
great.
Yeah. But yeah, otherwise he gives you the drink. Anyone else want anything since you're all kind of gathered around?
Just bread and sausage and take it, go hide.
Yeah, he walks, he gives you a thumbs up and a big old toothy grin. You see like 3 yellowed teeth and a bunch of gum. But otherwise he walks in the back, gets what you asked for, and comes back after a couple minutes and just kind of like almost joyfully, like playfully is the word I'm looking for, tosses it across the bar to you, like, "Here you go."
And then I'm going to go and sit in this corner and eat my food.
Fetal position.
No,
Oh, that's even
just
sticking.
away from everyone with my back to a wall.
I want to eat/drink the first bloody Mary fish that he gave me, and then as I said, I'm gonna set the empty one back down, and I'm gonna start drinking the second one, and I'm just gonna look at Mace and go, something's not right with that one.
I come back
You're now
and
telling me.
and I
No,
look
no,
at the
No, not the one in the corner. We all know that. No, that one. And I'm just gonna eye the innkeeper, kind of like do one of those head nods
He's-
over to the innkeeper.
He's like whistling. It like if this was like a Disney movie, there'd be like a ray of sun coming in from a non-existent window, and like a bird would fly down. And
He's a
land on his
Disney
shoulder.
princess. Get him.
He doesn't like me that much. No,
Get him before he starts
no one
singing.
does.
I ask the barkeep for the strongest liquor that he has.
It's like no problem. He looks at his like ale cask. It's the only liquor in the store. That do?
Take the whole cask.
He pours you like
No, wait. Would I know if that's the strongest liquor in there?
Yeah,
'Cause
it's the only
okay.
it's the only alcohol that he's been serving really.
Okay, all right.
He pours you like 2 mugs of it, and he's like, "Gotta have some to serve others. We gotta bring the happiness to everybody."
I down them immediately.
Okay, I'm suspicious. Hell no! No bartender is going to look at an empty bar in the middle of the morning. I mean, like, oh, drinks for everyone, but I'm also just a dumb robot, so.
I am going to down both of them immediately and then use minor illusion. I'm gonna have minor illusion like have a bat or something fly at his face from like around the corner.
Sorry, I missed that. I was looking something up.
Oh.
Did you need me to do something or?
The barkeep, I agree with him, is like being odd, so I want
sorry,
to
back
try
over.
to
Good.
Possibly,
like
is that you?
have something bad happen, like have a bat fly out of the kitchen like towards him or something like that.
Yeah. So you would hear, as soon as I guess you wait for an opportune moment, right? And eventually his daughter does walk out of the back to give him something. And as soon as she opens the door, you kind of make a fake image of a bat flying out. And she kind of sees it and watches it fly by, no real problem. Just walks up, gives him the thing, turns around and walks back. And he looks at the bat, watches it like flying around the room. He's like, oh, guess I'll have to get rid of that before people start showing up, huh?
I immediately jump over, grab him, put a dagger to his throat.
Oh, that
Mallo
sucks.
does not trust fucking anybody.
Can I ask why you want to kill me? I thought I was being friendly. I like Leif just walks away.
Leif.
I just kind of stick my head out the door and look at Kara and like,
Here's the thing.
you gotta come see this.
The soup is warm.
It's
Soup
not,
is warm.
soup's fucking cooking. Can we? Just.
Kara's just okay. Walks in.
Do I notice her walking in with my passive perception of 12?
Not necessarily. You'll notice when she gets kind of close, but with where she is with the others, you just think it's Mace and Leif still. The last you saw was them. You're focused on this guy, and he's just. I don't. I guess so I think I got blackout drunk last night, and I don't remember anything. Did I get you mad? I'm sorry if I did. I felt great this morning, and you're really not helping though.
You have never been this nice. What is different?
I don't know. I just felt really good this morning, and I wanted to make other people happy because it just felt like it was right. But what the fuck?
I like pull his body around towards the rest of everybody else. I'm like,
He's telling the truth, Kara. You can tell that inside if that's what you're looking for.
Kara will just look at him, look at Mallo. He's not lying, Mallo. Unfortunately, I think your father got to him too.
Father?
I will.
Was that the one who slammed him against the wall? Because I remember that, and I remember going in the back, and then nothing. I woke up this morning, and it felt great.
Can I walk past these guys? Can I just
Yeah.
I walk past over here.
So his daughter's, of course, standing there concerned, but she sees you coming, and yeah,
That-
what do you...
Move aside.
What is he? Is is he like this yesterday? He's different now, right? You see this change?
So she's kind of looking like past you at Mallow, of course, still, and she just kind of looks back a little at you, looks back at Mallow, because of course she's worried about her father. And no, I mean, yesterday, we discussed it this morning, and it's the same. He ran me into the back, and we were scared, and then because bar fights are never good, and then nothing, and we both woke up this morning feeling great, and so we figured, good omen, then we'd start the day off on the right foot.
Nothing. There's nothing weird. Nothing weird going on.
You mean back here? And
Yeah. As I'm just like peering over her shoulder. Yeah.
she takes a step in, and she like kind of holds the door for you, and kind of like waves her arm to show you like you can look around.
Now that oh wait. Yeah, I just want to kind of look at stuff, and now that I have her separate, I kind of want to ask her again without everybody fucking like not intimidating her, but like now that it's just me and her.
Okay.
You're looking for what now? That's just you and her.
Just try to see, like, I'm kind of asking her again, like, so
Can
nothing
you bring my buddy? Can you
nothing
bring me
weird
my purple cup?
happened. You guys
She
are
just
all
continues
right.
to like shake her head, but she's really more focused on Mallow, who still has a knife to her dad's neck. So
Okay. Well, I guess that's all. That's all. I just come back out
I've
here.
put the knife away and let him go.
yeah, so he'll take a step back. He's definitely looking wary at you guys, and I mean, I guess like, if being good and kind is not what people want, I'll stop. Can you all not?
Kara will put a hand on his shoulder before he gets away and go. He had a very rough night last night, and he is still not entirely out of it.
I think we all did, but I didn't try and kill anyone yet.
I'm
Yet.
afraid you misunderstand. He has some serious personal issues that he hasn't worked through in several years. And they all kind of came live last night. We apologize for the inconvenience, and I understand if you might be wary of us now. We did not mean to cause you the trouble that we have so
Okay,
far.
how about this? I'm just kind of looks at the whole group. Get out. If you come back as normal patrons who don't try and kill me, I'll look the other way, but please leave.
Fair enough.
I understand.
Kara's out the door.
I'll follow through.
He's
as
just
well.
like staring at Mallow until Mallow leaves.
I start walking towards the door, and as I do, I want to grow 2 extra eyes on the back of my head to watch him as I leave.
Yeah, so you don't necessarily grow 2 eyes, but you minor illusion 2 extra eyes on the back of your head, as if you're staring back at him.
Well, he could make the it look like eyes, but
Right, that's what I'm
there's
saying. He's
nothing.
Or I
using-
could
really there.
I'm just saying
I
he's doing
can-
it with minor illusion instead, just to make things a little bit more easy.
Fair enough.
If he grows, I'm not necessarily sure he could grow more eyes, and if he were to move his eyes to the back of his head, then how is he walking forward without bumping into anything? So,
I'll put one eye on the back of my head.
yeah, either way, we'll just say minor illusion, make it easier.
To
And the way he'll
blacksmith.
do it is like he'll turn around and then he'll put his hands to the back of his head and like part the hair, and there's an eye there.
There you go. There you go. Make it a little bit more physical. So with that, you guys are in Bryn Shander. However, as soon as you walk out of the inn, you guys are at the north side, which, if memory serves, is the one all the way at the top. But let me get my sheet open to make sure.
I love that we just breezed over Kara repeating "yet." You didn't try to kill
Yeah.
anybody yet.
Yeah, I mean, he's an innkeeper. He knows what he's about.
Not the first time he's been threatened.
Or
had-
threaten
or
people.
had to, yeah. Okay, so, yep. So the north look is the far north building here. And pretty much as soon as you guys exit, you hear a whole bunch of commotion at the north gate. Something about a carriage with no horse and a big rock. And you're not really sure what's going on. Any interest?
I'm sorry,
Okay,
I'm taking
well-
notes. Someone else can answer.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm trying to go see what this is about.
Okay. Anyone else? Just Leif?
I'll follow with him.
All right, Mace as well. The two others want to go to the blacksmith still, or who goes first?
On our way to the blacksmith, Leif's just like, oh, what? Oh, shit. I gotta see this.
I gotta go punch a rock.
Polishing off his second Bloody Mary fish.
Is there another Burning Man?
Oh God.
If Mallo goes to blacksmith, I go with Mallo. If Mallo goes to rock, I go with Mallo.
Don't leave it to me.
Haha, he's left it to you.
Mallo's going to blacksmith.
Oh, yeah, split the party.
It's fine. Totally fine. So what
There you
we'll
go.
do first is, for the sake of splitting it, since we've kind of focused on the two so far a little, we're going to go with Leif first, since he's the one kind of more interested in going to the carriage. So Leif, you and Mace, you start heading off to the north gate. And once you get there, it's pretty readily available, acknowledgeable to you guys that there is just this group of people standing around what looks to be a pretty big, bright red carriage. Should only need maybe one or two horses to drag. And certainly doesn't look like much more than what one or two people could travel in. And certainly enough, there is one or two people standing outside the carriage. One of them is wearing a bright red suit with a red top hat, a monocle over his eye, and a face that you can't quite place any features of, no matter how hard you try and focus. And besides him is a child with a wry grin on his face, staring out over the crowd.
Hello, customers! Yes, we have plenty for all and all for plenty. But before you come in and before you deal with us, I gotta talk to some old friends.
And pretty much as soon as he says this, the crowd parts as his gaze is looking straight over towards you. And Leif and Mace, you would of course recognize Gemini and Marino.
Yeah.
I actually need to talk to them.
I'm so glad I didn't go.
Oh my god.
That's why you should make your own choices.
I know.
Do you guys want to approach and talk to them first, or now that you know that they're there, do you want to go back to the party?
So remind me, do we know much
Yeah.
about them yet? Like we know that they are outside forces, so to speak. Yeah.
You would probably believe so. So the last encounters that you had with them, one of them was on a road just kind of in the middle of nowhere while going towards the fortress, where essentially a deal was offered to you guys that for a handshake you would be allowed to become customers of their Mysterium. You all agreed to this mysterious handshake deal, and in return received essentially one uncommon item. It was randomly rolled at first, and then after that you could trade it if you wanted. And then they basically said, okay, you're customers now, so, we'll see you when we see you. The next time, I believe,
Right.
was in East Haven, where it was before you guys went to the Goliaths, I think. Or it was coming back from it, one way or the other.
Last
You
time we
met
ran
them
into them
again.
was in East Haven.
Yeah. But I'm just saying I don't remember if it was before going to the Goliaths or after.
Or
Yeah, so one way or another, you've met them twice. You are aware that they are some sort of magic item dealers, but they are very shady. And yes, you would definitely be able to tell. It definitely seems, especially once again in this instance, people don't really seem to have a problem with Gemini's face, but there's something weird going on with it, and it's never really stopped you and made you question anything, but at the same time, you can tell something's going on. So you definitely
Can
know something's up.
Can I go with them?
Not retroactively, dude. You made your choice.
Wait, I remembered.
Mallo
I didn't wanna
senses
go
through
to
the universe. There's a disturbance in the force.
Well, no, like I forgot that they had the
Just rubbing,
Mysterium.
he's rubbing his triangle on his
Oh.
hand, on the back of his hand. He's like, ah, it burns.
Why is it so
All
hot?
I remembered is just flashbacks and PTSD of karaoke nights, and completely forgot that they also have magical items. I just have so much buildup of PTSD of singing.
Oh God.
I'm sorry, what? Karaoke nights?
Yes.
I don't. Are you talking about the Virtuoso?
Yeah, is that not them?
No.
Oh,
definitely
no.
not.
no.
Yeah.
Okay. My brain completely messed up.
That's all right.
That's canon for Mallo at this point then.
He confuses all the NPCs. Everyone in the rest of the world except for a party member is just NPC to Mallo. But with that, like I
It's
said,
the
you guys
Virtuoso.
are kind of being, gestured towards by Gemini and Marino, but it is, of course, your choice what you want to do.
I mean, I guess I'd go talk to them because as far as we know, they didn't give a shit about the carriage. So fuck them.
Alrighty.
Yeah, I mean, why not? I'll follow with him just to make sure he doesn't get into trouble.
Oh, I'm
'Cause
gonna
it's
get in
life.
trouble. Getting in some shit.
Alrighty. So yeah, you approach, both of you, and as is kind of usual, at least the two that you encounters that you've had with them, Gemini seems to be the one to address you first and foremost. Welcome back, welcome back. Where are the rest of you? Figured kind of we'd be seeing you all together, but you know what? This is fine one way or the other. Do you want to come on in and see if we got anything you need?
Well, that actually doesn't sound bad. Though I'd ask first, what brings you around these parts?
Well, you see, that's a very interesting question, and it will be answered inside if you choose. But the long and short of it is, we heard you needed a little bit of help and figured we'd be the stopgap to get it back to you.
I see. Well, by all means, then let us see what you have in stock.
So I think I gotta figure out how this works. 1, 2, 3. How do oh, it's not gonna work because of the positioning of that, isn't it? Maybe it will. I'm just trying to understand. You know what? I'll do it the old-fashioned way. Just make sure I do it right. Even that's not working very well for me. Alright. Why is it not letting me drag you all to a different map individually? What am I doing wrong here? Claw, any advice on the new system that I'm fucking something up?
You should just be able to open up the new map in another window and then drag the character portraits, or not the character portraits. You drag the name bars of the individuals over to said map.
Yeah, so you see there's like a little yellow banner on the top right when you open
Yeah, no, I'm aware.
Yeah, so underneath that there should be the individual like player thingies, and that is what you drag individually to the different maps.
Yeah, the problem is that when I open that right now, it's covering the map I need to bring you guys to, so I guess I'll have to bring it, move it first.
I will be right back. I'm running downstairs really quick.
Yeah, it's fine. You're not
Sure.
some dragon, so.
And just drag it to a nearby one, and then you drag it over again.
Okay, there we go. I got it to work that time. That was a bit odd, but that should just be. Alright, so Kara, map shouldn't have changed for you, right?
No, it is still the Britain Shander map.
Okay, perfect. So yeah, the two of you can place yourselves in at the bottom door on the Mysterium here.
Okay.
So as is the last time that you guys entered, you can move yourself up with him, Leif. You would have entered together. You know, strangely enough, despite the fact that the two of them were standing right outside to begin with, as soon as you walk through the door and you pass into this much larger store-like interior of the carriage, the two of them are once more standing before you. Gemini is standing in front of the counter, kind of leaning against it, his hands just kind of, you know, one over the other on his lap, sort of. And Marino is sitting on a little stool behind the counter, and just you can kind of hear Marino's feet drumming on the inside of the counter a little bit, kicking their legs. And oddly out of place, because everything else in here is some, you know, they're very majestic, mystic-looking items, the likes you've never seen before. But much to the rumors that you heard, there's just a weird rock sitting in the back of the room.
Oh.
It definitely catches you because it's out of place. Doesn't look like anything else here.
That's new.
Did you have an avalanche pass by or something?
Just bypass everybody. Just go straight to the rock. Start asking it questions.
Okay. So you ask Gemini and Marino if they've, you know, redecorated.
Are you
or
one of
whatever.
Mallo's siblings?
And they both kind of look at each other and they chuckle, and Marino's just like,
No, that's you know, we kind of figured we'd do it a favor.
Oh wait, I know what's going on.
I don't.
Do you? We sure do.
I think so. I'll. Do you mind if I take a look?
absolutely. Or are you
Okay.
asking them that? Are you saying as a player
Them,
or as
yeah,
a
them.
character?
Oh yeah, no problem at all. Like I said, kind of here for you anyway.
I just
Right.
I'm kind of watching from like over here.
So I'm just gonna take my hammer out, not necessarily like ready to strike, but more so I'm gonna use it to gently but firmly poke the stone and say, "You there, old man?"
So, as soon as you reach out with chance and you touch the surface of this stone, you realize that the craggly surface of it squishes under your hammer, revealing that what you thought was rock surface, smooth rock, is in fact mushroom. As 2 arms, 2 legs, and a head pop
Oh
on out of the
my
rock, and
God.
your old friend Pleuzac yawns and stretches.
Why
fucking knew
are
it.
you calling me old?
Are you not?
Not as old as I could be.
The absolute worst time for
Well-
Pleuzac to be brought back to the party.
Probably best time, Bluzak, you know? He's got a chance of living. Well, I think if any of us were as old as we could be, we just wouldn't be here, period. But I get your meaning.
You sound like you have gotten more wisdom.
I sure hope so. It's one of the things I need the most these days. Either way, strange for you to get picked up by strange merchants. No offense.
Well, it was really more serendipity that brought us together than anything else. Turns out he was looking for you after something happened. I don't really care. And we figured we'd head this way because we also kind of heard, maybe even
Looks over at Marino with kind of like a knowing look, and Marino just finishes.
maybe felt it. Yeah, felt that you might have needed our assistance.
Well, there's two things that come to mind, really. I looked at Bluzak first. We'll pick this up back later, assuming you're sticking around.
I have some information for the party. You guys are still together?
Yeah, a little more so these days than others, but yes, we are.
Montage of Mallo and Kara going on a shopping spree.
You see a half orc shower one time, and all of a sudden we're real close.
You never showered.
Yeah, that's
Ah, yeah,
that stench
you
tells a
got
word
me
for it.
there.
Leif, there's a reason they let you keep
Showering?
ordering raw fish. It smells better than you.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Bluzak's here, like, oh yeah, all spies.
Just plucks
Um,
off
Yeah,
a little
I-
mushroom. Try this. Puts it under my arms.
Yeah. Best
Um,
No,
Dies
deodorant.
first. What dies first, the arm hair or the mushroom?
Lies.
It's like watching 2 lightsabers duel. Suddenly, like, literally burning away the air around them.
Oh, it's that scene from What We Do in the Shadows where the two energy vampires are.
Oh, yes, yes. Floating in the air, circling each other.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Anyways, well, if you've come to deliver a message to the party, I'm afraid we're not all here, but do you mind accompanying us once we're done here? Unless you're traveling further ahead afterwards. I don't know what your plans are.
I will accompany you because this is dangerous times.
Yeah, you probably don't know the half of it.
I'm not sure you know the quarter of it.
I sure hope we're able to make a full once this is done. And then we will turn to Gemini and Marino and say, well, the two things that I wanted aid with mostly were, firstly, I don't know what your reach is, but considering that you're able to do all this inside a small caravan, and seeing as you are, uh, how to say, unsettling, to say the least, uh, I figured you might know a thing or two about higher powers, especially after all you did for Kara too, and the things that she mentioned that you guys are involved in. All hazy, not first-hand information, but still. Um, what I wanted to ask about is first, there is an outwardly entity that's been trying to reach me, or has reached me, but communications means potty. Can you somehow help clarify the message?
So as you're talking to him, Gemini would have taken the monocle, which would not have been in front of his eye, inside so far. It kind of would have been sitting in a pocket, and he would have taken it out and just cleaned it off with a little cleaning cloth that he tucks back away. He puts it finally in front of his eye, and as he glares at you, you kind of this is the first time that you see the white mask kind of settle in. You no longer see this kind of always shifting face that has been present before, like when he was outside the caravan. And the monocle seems to stare at you in a way that is not looking at you, but kind of through you. It's reading you in a way that you've never felt before. And you suddenly come to a realization that this thing is not what you thought before. And in asking this question, you feel it's almost going to toy with you, no matter what answer it gives you.
Mm-hmm.
But strangely, what it says is simply,
Well, I guess that comes down to one thing or another. The one thing being, do you want to actually overcome this challenge for yourself? Come to learn it yourself? Come to be a better man yourself? Or do you want us to solve it for you and take all the fun out of it?
Truth be told, I felt like whoever was trying to reach me was different than most other external forces that we've encountered so far. It felt, yes, great and powerful, but also distant, almost concerned for such a power to express such human emotions. I'm in this for myself too.
Sounds to me like you're in a period of trying to understand yourself. I would posit this. Are you sure that this thing, this message, isn't exactly just that? Something to make you understand further. Yourself, I mean. It might not be. I don't know what it is.
I've always chosen to believe that only you can know yourself, and no diviners, soothsayers, seers, no one else would be able to peer deep enough into your soul to know and be able to tell you who you really are. But that doesn't mean that there are things about me that someone else might not be able to tell me. So, if even if it illuminates uh, a fraction, a facet, even if it tells me one thing I didn't know, that'll be enough for me.
And just to ask, because I'm kind of curious, what if it has nothing to do with you?
Well, if it doesn't, he takes a small pause. It still felt. I even shudder to phrase this way, but it felt like a person in need. And after all I've been through so far, I'm not sure I can turn my back.
so Gemini kind of goes to answer, and you kind of can tell because his shoulders heave much like a person would when they go to breathe in. But before he has a chance, it's actually Marino who interjects.
You might want to stop. At this point, he's teasing you. And honestly, it sounds more to me like this sort of thing is going to guide you one way or another, whether it has to do with you or not. honestly, achieving an answer is going to assist you because, well, just sounds like you need to work through some problems.
I get that, and I appreciate the honesty. Well, it was worth trying nonetheless. But yes, I understand. This is perhaps more personal than I wanted to admit.
Nah, I don't think the actual problem is, well, I don't think the actual, thing you're talking about is personal, but you definitely got a lot of personal problems. Um, honestly, if you want my advice, which looks over at Gemini, definitely worth more than his right now, I would take and, well, let's put it this way. They might be your problems, but even if we can't solve them, it doesn't mean another can't. And this thing you're talking to, well, if it's willing to talk to you, it might be just as good as anyone else, right?
Fair point, little guy.
Then again, I'd go with the hot lady in your party.
She does have more experience with these things. I understand. Speaking of her, that leads me to the second thing. If I recall, you two helped her with a strange piece of armor that she now wears on the regular. Though, last I recall, she was having some trouble settling into it.
What do you mean? Pretty sure that should be literally custom made for her. Wasn't even us who did it.
No, I understand. I guess I meant more so, it still feels alien.
Oh, yeah, that'd probably be our fault. That crack in the middle wasn't exactly supposed to be there, but, well, when she fell to this realm the way she did, things kind of got a little messed up. But, did what we could. Unless you mean something else.
I'm not the one to be able to provide you with such information. I just figured I'd ask in case you knew anything that I didn't.
About the girl's arm? I know what this is about. You want to know about the hammer, don't you?
Well, considering that I'm here and you're all experts on magical items, I don't see why not. I have been wondering about his origin. I figured it would be similar to mine, but considering all he is and what he can do, I'm starting to wonder.
Well, I guess this goes back to what we were saying before. You want to learn about it yourself, or you want me to give you all the answers?
Tell me how I can work it out.
You ever think to go back to your father's workshop? He's got plenty of notes. When you left, well, I don't remember you taking much of a look at anything. Just grabbing a cloak and heading into the wilderness.
That's a fair point.
Harrison,
I
you got
suppose
blue
it was.
screen.
Ooh, rough.
Ooh. He got oraled.
Oral. Not in a good way.
Oh, that was one thing we did good for you, Leif, though. Back when we were talking about Auril's Island, Harrison made sure to point out that Leif would probably be chuckling every time.
Oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah.
But yeah, that advice is good enough. Leif, you looking for something new? Or your sword?
I love you, whoever that was. I couldn't actually tell, but that was amazing. Oh.
I mean, I guess I would ask. I'd pull out my great sword, like a little bit, I guess, and I'd ask if they know anything about.
So,
What's-
interestingly, as
what's
soon
like
as you
that?
start to pull your greatsword out, you would notice that it is kind of sending out more light than usual. The inscriptions that run along the blade, they're usually a golden kind of fleck on it to begin with, but right now they are shimmering a bright radiant light as you kind of pull it from the sheath a little. And as soon as you free it from its scabbard, the sword actually leaves not only your hand, but the scabbard as well, and just starts to kind of hover in the air in front of you. Point down towards the ground, hilt up, and it just sits there in between you and Gemini. And Gemini nods, and he tips his hat, and he simply says,
Well, hello there, milady. It's been a long time since we've seen you. How have you been?
and actually, Mace, this would be the first time that you, and you as well, Pleuzac, would hear a feminine voice ring out throughout the room. Leif, you would recognize it, of course, as the voice of your sword. But the other two can hear it for once. as in her typical sultry voice, she simply responds, "Ah, yes, you as well, Endbringer. It's been a long time. And yes, as much as I thought not, I am doing well." That's about it, though. They seem to just be otherwise cordially greeting and staring at each other for the moment.
So you can talk to it.
Does-
Oh, she can talk in this space because this space is a bit of, well, it's outside the norm, let's say. Actually, if your hammer wants to speak up.
And at that point, Chance just no, I'm taking it all in. Thanks, though. And that would as well ring throughout the room.
Pleuzac is looking at his staff and his shields and everything else that he has on him, and he's just like,
So interestingly,
will
all
you
your
talk?
items are fine, but as you
Do
are
you
doing
talk?
that, like there's a shell, and you think it's a shell, like some sort of a beach shell, but it looks nothing like any you've ever seen. That's actually what you were perusing down next to you there, and it just is like,
Hey, Daddy, you want something to talk? So I can talk.
There's a shell in the corner. It's blue, it's spiked, and has wings.
uh-oh.
yeah.
Instantly kills anyone
Just
who's
you hear
winning
in
a
the
fight.
background, do you want me? Do you love me?
But yeah, you guys have otherwise learned something new about this space.
I would tell him. She doesn't seem to like talking to me. She only wants to answer one question, and I kind of wasted it.
He immediately looks kind of past, the sword at you, and like, you still are seeing him as a relatively a humanoid face. Can't place any facial features for one reason or another, but you do watch as an eyebrow kind of goes up, and he simply goes,
Sir, good, sir. I'm a bit confused. Why are you talking as if a beautiful woman is not standing here in front of you? It is not an it. It is not a thing. You should be treating her as the woman that she is.
and again he kind of tips his hat.
The beautiful, gracious woman.
You can see her.
I know everything about her.
And she kind of actually spins in place. You can kind of tell that there's, I guess, one side that's supposed to be a face and one side that's supposed to be a back. Not that you can really tell a difference. But yeah, it seems to spin in place to face you, and she simply says, "He has been here since before time was time and will be here long after. He has known me since before I was me, and has watched as I have passed from hand to hand. So yes, he knows everything there is to know about what I am. You would do well to listen."
I want to tell the sword. But would you rather me learn it from him or from you?
Does not matter the source. All that matters is the outcome. You have been learning, and I am grateful for it. But honestly, it is as simple as doing as he has just told you. Learn to be a gentleman not only to those that you can stick it in.
Just Leif kind of scratches his head. He's like, nice to everyone.
It just kind of sighs.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're still missing the point, huh? And even Gemini's like,
All right. Guess he's never actually had a lady friend who wasn't a lady friend, huh?
I mean, I haven't paid for it sometimes, if that's what you're asking. I don't have to pay for it every time.
you can like feel as the sword face palms, and even Gemini's just,
Alrighty, this one needs work. Good luck with that one, Fortuna.
Fortuna. So now I have your name.
you would have had it any time that you'd been at any time that you would have asked. You are not a gentleman, though, and have not treated me nicely, so apparently have never even cared.
This is definitely not a commonplace for me. I will try and do better now that I am aware of how it affects you.
It affects me none. I'm just letting you know how I like to be handled, and the fact is, you have not.
Well, I wish to handle you exactly how you want. Like I kind of side eye Mace.
What,
But
are you
I
looking for
try.
help?
But no, because I'm talking about handling this woman. I'm doing it But I'm trying not to be like a. I'm trying to be a gentleman, but it's hard because deep down, Leif's just like, yeah, I want to handle you.
It's like still a cool sword. I don't understand.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to be up on that.
All right. Yeah. So at this point, it just you feel like a. Again, it's size, but there's a general like acceptance in the air, and it's. I was asked to be yours by your father, who cared very well for me. I owe him that much. So, yes, if you try and do better, we'll see what happens.
Are there things my father did?
We're all hearing this, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Are there things my father did with you that I can do with you?
That sounds horribly wrong, but considering I do know what you mean, be more of a gentleman. He was just better with the ladies than you.
So my father was a ladies' man.
Your father had more women after him than most will ever see in a lifetime, and yet for some reason he would reject his own kin and chase after your mother. It was the one thing he refused my help on. Prideful man, at times.
Well, she was one of a kind from what I remember.
Yes, he would claim the same. Enough to overcome the bounds of much racial hatred.
Well, I will.
I'm entranced by Mace's gift because she never grabs the sword. End too soon.
Yeah, I guess I just tell it. I will that I'm gonna try to be better with the lady people. Yeah. This is like Leif's brain's just like wrapping around a tree.
Do what you want, boy. At some point, things will come to a head, and my power will either be able to assist you in a moment of dire need, or simply one of basic need. And at that point, I will have fulfilled my promise. What happens from there will depend on how well you treat me from here. Good luck. And with that, she just kind of like flutters up and then flies back into the scabbard.
I kind of half turn to Leif and like put my thumbs out, like I did it.
Good. Do you need me to spell it out for you, or?
I mean, it seems like I need to go bed some women.
Yeah, we're gonna have to work on that. But for now,
Era, try it, you die.
Pleuzac's been writing this all down in his journal. Like,
I'm sure.
what Gemini is, the sword turning into a lady and it talking and telling him to be a gentleman, and now Pleuzac just goes.
how his race hasn't gone extinct, I do not know.
Leif had a father, but had he not taught you to be a man?
He wasn't as round as much as he should have been.
Also, don't turtles get abandoned at birth?
Yeah, my parents died after a year,
They have a full year together, much to be fair to the turtle, yeah.
which they bestowed their knowledge upon me
Yep.
in that year. So that's
But
why
they didn't leave you a sticky note?
No sticky notes.
Each mushroom, though, has a special message written from his mom on it.
Like in the lunch, like your
Yeah,
lunch
exactly.
box for school.
That's why he has like 5,000 mushrooms growing across him, is so that he has a mushroom for each day for his lifetime or whatever.
He's kept them all these years.
Yeah. He's trying to hold on to him for as long as he can.
Didn't you guys read the notes on the mushrooms I gave you?
Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
Just-
He's been giving you the most relevant ones that show you.
Yeah. They're like little fortune cookies. How am I supposed to fly when I'm
How
surrounded
do you think
by
you're
all
getting the
these
temp
chickens?
HP? It's not from eating the mushrooms. It's the benefit that it gives you from the emotional boost. Oh, God.
Amazing.
But yeah, otherwise, anything else that you guys want to do here, or do you want to switch back to the other party members and then reconvene after that?
Isn't it just? Didn't Kara go with them?
No,
I
Kara
went
went
with
with you
you.
to the blacksmith.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you. Were
I
like,
said
oh,
crap. I actually needed
Oh.
to talk to them. but I'd already committed to going with you.
I thought he was
Yeah.
nice and let you go with him. I'm sorry.
No.
No, because he would have
Oh,
let you in
And
that
to be
case.
fair as well, since put this back to you guys, does that put everyone back together? And then I'm gonna
I'm back on Brinshan here.
I'm switching everybody to the Mysterium as my goal here, just to
Yeah, personally, I am done there.
okay. At least-
Yeah, the only thing else I could do is my trident, my magic weapon trade out, but I'm fine with.
Well,
what
here's the
I
deal.
had.
I pretty much guarantee that if you guys tell Kara that they're here, you're gonna be stopping it again anyway. So just think about it. If you want to try and do an exchange on either of those or whatever, then just
Claw, I
come
have a
back for it.
question.
Yeah, what's up?
Well, actually, I have a question both for Claw and DM then.
Mm-hmm.
Can I trade the Rapier of Warning in?
So it's Claw's item at this point. You guys could collectively talk about trading it in for something that's a better benefit for everybody. Or
Okay.
I'm not
whatever
opposed
somehow,
to it. Like, as it is, I'm just getting half the benefit. So
Okay. Then yeah, I think I might try to trade that in.
All right, so
You're
for
getting
lack
the
of
full
a better
benefit of it
word,
right now, Claw.
have we arrived here, or are we just on
Advantage
this
on
map?
initiative, and you can't be surprised, right?
yeah. I
all it
mean,
is.
just I can't use it as a sword. That's what I mean.
Yeah. Okay. Gotcha. Yeah. I thought you meant the magic
So-
effect. So.
We've arrived here, or we're just on this map for what's
No.
going on?
So I wanted to put everyone back together just to make it easier. And so currently we'll be in Brinchander. So you guys are headed the opposite direction. Let me make sure I'm clicking the right one for you.
The
The Black
blue was
Iron
the
Blades is the
inn, right?
No, so the top blue is the inn.
Oh, okay, that's
the bottom blue here is actually the Black Iron Blades.
Gotcha.
So you
I know
guys
this
would be
was the
head. So
church.
that's
I know
correct.
This was
that was I think the town
okay.
hall for the green.
Uh,
Oh no, it's not. I actually
I think-
have those backwards. The green, I was looking at the wrong part of the map. The green is the Black Iron Blades. The town hall is the blue, the further one down.
All right, so we went to
Sorry.
the
green
Smith
one.
anyway.
Yeah, so the Smith is the green. So you guys headed
Okay.
down to the green. The rest of the party headed north to the carriage. So you guys would head there. There's no map for that one, but
I know.
you head in. They recognize you. Head Smith kind of hears from the front counter that oh, it's those guys. It's the customers, the ones that brought the ingots. And he comes running out. Oh, lassie, it's good to see you. It's been a bit. How you doing?
Oh, good times and bad times. You know how it goes.
Oh, absolutely. Can I help you through anything? You need anything forged, anything fixed up? Your spear, your shields, your armor. Armor looks fantastic, by the way.
It was a gift from an old friend.
Oh, it's beautiful. A fantastic smith, or bought it from someone that was. So
Let's just say it has a bit of history to it.
I could tell. It's got that drawing on it. It can't be. It's got to be a real battle, right?
I can't recall if it was real or if it was just a general.
You would get a general sense that the battle itself might not have been, but the message contained within is very much true. It shows Valkyries over a battlefield. So
Yeah. It's more of a representation than an actual battle.
yeah, I like the ones with the wings. They look like you. Anyway, how can I help?
Kara will reach into her bag of holding and pull out her old scale mail armor.
Mhm.
I no longer need this. You might be able to repurpose it or sell it to someone else.
Well, absolutely, but I'm not taking it for free. How can I? How much you want for it? I'll give more than market value. You've been so good to us.
I'm looking at the item right now. I think
Yeah,
it
try to
sells
pull
for
it up as
50
well.
gold.
Yeah.
Yeah, it costs 50 gold, so.
Yeah, so he's like, I can give it up to like 70, easy. I could probably sell it for. Yeah, I'll still make a loss, but it's fine.
And I will turn that over to him then.
Yeah, so he takes it. And he's like, boys! And he yells in the back, tosses it through a door, and ow! I got a captain. Just
You said he was giving me 70 for it?
yes.
Okay. And Kara will continue going through her things to look at everything. It's like, I could use more of those masterwork arrows you were making earlier, i.e. the +1s.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't remember the costage on those at that point, though. Let me see if I
A
can find.
bundle costs 1.25 of regular arrows, 20 in a bundle. I think we said it was at least 5 gold for
All right, so
the other one.
most of the time they say an uncommon item costs between like 100 and 500 gold. So what we'll do is we'll do it at this. It would make
Multiply the
sense.
cost by 10, so
no,
it's 10
no.
gold.
I'm actually going to say that that seems too high for. Actually, yes, you're on the same path as me. I was going to say that seems too high for like a single arrow to be 100 gold. But we could say that a bundle of 12 arrows. We'll say it doesn't make sense for 120 gold, 10 each. Probably makes about, good amount of sense. He would, of course, being, the good customer that you are and the person who's helped him, he'd be like, I can give you, 10, a discount a little bit, like 10 gold off. 10 gold off, yeah, 110. Sound good? Fair enough. 12 of them.
12 for 110. All right.
Yeah.
And remove that. And I will add that total up to 22. That's all I would need at the blacksmith. Anything else that we're doing there is all on you, good
Harrison.
sir.
Yeah. So he does see you as well, Harrison, and he's kind of been like shooting side glances at you because you were doing some little more shady stuff last time you were here. But he sees you with Kara, so he treats you like a normal customer. Just all right. So, girls, also anything you need over there?
I break down. I've first I apologize for my actions prior. Things have changed greatly.
Yeah, I can tell you're not wearing that weird garish mask again. That's kind of nice.
I kind of wave my hand over my face, and the skeleton face goes away, and it's just normal Mallo face.
Yeah, that's fine. That's a cool party trick. That's kind of nice. You look better this way, by the way.
I set down the bow staff, and I look at him. I go, "This has been wonderful, but things have changed, and I have things that I need to change about this." And I also grab the glaive blade, and I pull out parchment. I don't know when I did this, but I'm just doing this. I pull out parchment and just the most meticulous drawings of the most beautiful set of nunchucks that have ever been made, and a common chain kind of thing that we talked
absolutely.
about.
So he looks at your staff and he looks at the drawings. He looks at the glaive blade. He's like, "Oh, I think I got what you're going on here. Are you looking for me to turn the stuff into these things, or do you just want me to build them for you?"
If there's enough material from the staff to build both of them, yes, I can pay you for whatever materials you need.
Nice, no problem. I can do it. I mean, and he actually picks the staff up and he like breaks down the center piece that untwists. He's like, it's totally fine. This you look at them, it's about this right here, and he holds like half. It'll break down into nunchucks, no problem. Put a chain right here. The other one, I might actually have to cut it down a little, but it did make a good little haft for a sickle of some sort. Yeah, it should work fine. I got plenty of chain in the back. And what's this bit here on the end of the chain? And he like points to the weight. And Mallo of course has an idea of what he's looking for, so he just explains how it's like supposed to be lightly weighted enough that it pulls the chain, but not so heavy that it's unusable. And you're describing it to him. And he's like, "Oh, I think I can pull something. I get the idea. He's supposed to swing it, and it's supposed to. All right, I think I can figure this out." And he tells you, "Okay, I mean, it's going to take a little bit of work. So the nunchucks I can have done, I don't know, probably in an hour. It's just split this, put a chain on it, reinforce it a little, make sure everything's okay. That one will be done quick. The other one, though, that's going to take some work because I got to rework this blade. It looks like it's been through a fire. What happened here? And I'm going to have to cut down the half of the other half of the quarter stuff into the right sizing and make sure that it's properly affixed to the blade. No, that one I'm going to say, if you don't mind giving me until the morning, it's the best, but at least tonight."
That's perfectly fine. Take your time.
All right, you then. So yeah, I'll get this one done first, and he holds up the one that he was talking about as the nunchuck one though.
Is there a way that I could get him to make me like brass knuckles?
You could, but because you're a monk, it really would just be flavor text.
Okay.
But yeah, you can totally have a pair of brass knuckles just as a, something Mallo likes to put on.
One other thing. Could I get him to put my dagger into like do I have like gauntlets at all? Because I know I'm just wearing.
No, I don't think you have anything in the slot that like would you need to worry about. Yeah. If you had like bracers of defense, you might have to worry about something. But
I wanted to make a gravity knife in my bracer, but I can't because I don't have armor on. Even.
I see what you're saying. I mean, that would be as much as you could just. You could ask him to design some sort of wrist or arm mounted blade that, could potentially slide out and be utilized as a punch dagger, I guess, almost like an Assassin's Creed blade. It doesn't necessarily
Yeah.
have to be part of armor. It could just have two straps that go around your forearm.
Yeah, if he could build
Um,
something like that whenever he
he-
gets to it.
Yeah, he would tell you that's definitely going to be more complex of machinery. So
Absolutely.
he'll start working on that once he's done with the other two pieces, and he doesn't have a timetable for it. So
Okay. All right, so tomorrow night, tomorrow afternoon.
for the sickle and chain, no, tomorrow morning at the latest. That's fine. I can work
Oh,
overnight
okay.
on it if I need to, and I don't think I'll need
No,
to.
no, 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 no. Don't trouble yourself. Don't
It's
trouble
not. It's not
yourself.
trouble, friend. I'm saying. It's only if I think I'll need to, and I don't think I'll need to. So it'll be fine.
Can Kara bardic inspiration the smiths in the back to go faster?
No. Well, so he also is basically going to do it himself. The others are just going to pick
Okay.
up the slack on any store material that he needs to do.
I don't.
I mean, I guess you could try and choose him as one of your Iron Harryar, but I'm not sure that that's worth it. It's nothing too
No,
worrisome.
no. I mean, it was just more a comedic thing in my mind.
Yeah, gotcha.
And I don't have anything else to add to this. So yeah.
Awesome. So you guys turn around and you go to exit the shop, and you walk out into the street. And as you do
Oh,
so,
how much does he want?
he'll charge you out as you pick things up,
Oh God.
because I don't have an idea right now, so we'll figure it
Okay.
out.
You better
Um,
not be poor.
I do want to get to just refill my darts.
You can do that before you leave as well. Do darts have a cost on the?
They should have a cost. I think they have a bundle cost.
Okay.
Looking it up right
5.
now.
They're 5 coppers each.
So that's what, 5 silvers if you buy 10 of them.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I could just switch to a short bow, maybe.
I don't. Can monks use bows?
Short bows
No.
are a simple weapon, I
Yeah.
believe.
Okay, then, probably.
I gotta double check.
They have way better range.
Yeah, darts are just flavored throwing knives essentially.
We'll just keep doing darts. That's fine.
All
Can
right.
I have them? Can I show them like ninja stars in a sense and see if he,
Yeah,
or
just
like
flavor text
kunais?
them. Yeah, it would still just be a dart, but yeah, that's fine.
Yeah,
It's basically
flavor
the same
text
context.
kunais.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Yeah, so short bow is a simple weapon, therefore he has
Yeah.
monk proficiency with it.
Yep, that's good. Okay, fair enough. But yeah, so you'll get your darts. Like I said, 5 silvers for 10 of them yeah, that should be fine. But yeah, you guys go to walk out, and you notice that in the streets coming from the north, there seems to be something coming down that is causing any people who are in the way to very quickly get out of the way. And as it approaches you, you would notice that, surely enough, it is your friends Leif and Mace, and in tow, your old friend Pleuzac, who you realize is probably what's causing people to get out of the way.
Can I shadow step on top of a building?
You can't see a shadow. You
Immediately.
can't see a shadow up on a building per se.
I'm
but-
just hearing like the of a cat like flying to
Yeah.
to a surface somewhere.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, that doesn't happen with Leif, so he can't smell as bad as I do.
Regardless, yeah, at this point the party will reconvene. I'll let you guys figure out. If you want to say anything to each other, feel free, but I'll let you figure
What's
out
the
where you want to go
password?
next. Oh, staring at Pleuzac, I'm assuming.
Yup.
The password? You mean our past phrases we told each other?
That is correct.
As I look at Mallow, my lover,
Okay, it's you.
Mallow.
I want to
so incredible.
elbow Mace and be like, we probably should have asked that back there, huh?
And
So
Kara,
good.
what is your passphrase?
Well, that depends. Do you want mine or do you want the one Leif gave me?
Oh my god, the one Leif
I
gave you?
don't remember Leif giving you one. So I guess yours.
Ein here you are.
Okay. And then I look at Mallow and I go, What's your passphrase?
It's it. Don't worry. It's him. He's had a bit of a moment.
Fuck you, Mushroom Boy. Nice, like, get back behind Kara.
Okay. Mace?
Because it's not
Leif?
actually going to be the real one, because I've already said it, but the Leif version of that was in her rear.
In her
Oh,
rear.
that's right. That's right.
Beautiful. Very Leif.
Mace? Leif? Do you remember yours?
I mean, mine was probably something with fish.
Very well.
Is that acceptable? Is that, what the fuck?
Nice.
That's exactly what it
That
is.
is not
for you to know.
Oh, we should have all gone down to the interrogation room without Rick to do this.
Well, too late now.
Oh,
No, it's okay. It's
yeah,
okay.
you're right.
Yeah.
It's all right. I will be fair to you guys and tell you. I don't think I have any current plans to use the password. We'll see what happens
I don't
coming
believe
back.
you.
But it is absolutely not something that I'm writing down currently. So if enough time passes, that I hopefully
Yeah, but
will.
you're
have forgotten.
recording this.
That is true.
That's
that is
true.
true. I can reference it, but I will try and be a good person and not. We'll see. The other issue is that I will have to edit it at some point, so we'll see if it sticks in my brain better on the second try. But fucking Mallo, my lover or whatever, is one that I'll definitely remember. That.
My lover Mallow. Yeah.
Oh god. Okay. I'm gonna go get the dogs their bones quick. If you guys want to RP, if not, then just take the 5 minutes to figure out where you guys want to go next in terms of
I
Alchemist
mean,
or whatever.
realistically,
and
it's
then,
Alchemist and go back to
Gemini. you think?
Marino and
All right.
Gemini.
So take a 5.
At least for me.
I'll be back in a minute. Go get the girls their bones.
Rick is semi-aware of it at this point, but after like the past 3 NPCs have all been traps, it's like, nah, I ain't taking nobody at face value anymore.
Yeah.
The mission successful. We made him lose his shit at some of the passwords. It was great.
Yes.
Yes.
My bad. I'm shoving food down my fucking throat right now.
How fucking dare you?
Oh, good. Well, you guys were doing your bit with Marino and Gemini. I was wolfing down a bowl of chili.
I'm currently cooking chili up there too. I'm gonna have to go check on here in like 20 minutes. How does one become proficient in firearms? By shooting them?
Well, it depends on your DM. But the 2 surefire ways of doing it are you have the gunslinger or artificer class,
Isn't there feet?
and the other is the gunner feat.
Yeah.
So if you selected the gunner feat, you would get proficiency in firearms, and you would not have a range disadvantage by using it within 5 feet of another enemy.
Right. Let's say I don't have any of that.
You don't add your
at-
proficiency modifier to the weapon.
Well,
you
I
can
know,
still
but what
use
if
it,
I
not
want?
effectively, but you'd
what do I
have
want
to practice with it, basically.
Well, yeah, that's what. Yeah.
And again, that comes down to DM discretion, where they decide how many attempts you need to make before you become quote unquote proficient.
Yeah, because I could just manifest it with my echo and just have endless ammunition that I'm never wasting. I could, in
That's-
theory, shoot millions of rounds of it.
That's actually pretty genius.
I could manifest it with my echo, and he could hand it to me, and then he could just take off running, zigzagging, and then I could just shoot it at him until he disappears, and then just do it again.
I mean, I don't see why that wouldn't work, but
mean,
that's not my call.
That's a target and everything. Yeah. Yeah,
Rick would just be like, "Wait, what?"
That's gonna be our new soup is bad. It's just fucking Echo Leaf sprinting through the canyon, just shooting guns off.
You're gonna reenact shooting fish in a barrel with your echoes.
Yeah.
We're reenacting a hunting scene. You're the deer. Put this on.
I'm still confused as fuck with my sword. I don't know if she's telling me to be nice to her, or be nice to other women, or go sleep with women, or be nice to Kara, or go find this bitch that I fucked and see if my kid's alive. I don't know.
I don't
I
know
wanna
if you're
say three- I want to
legitimately
say 3 out of
asking why.
5. I'm not going to say which 3 out of 5, but I think it's 3 out of 5.
So I need to get Kara to sleep with me. Okay.
Was that all three of them? Like just Kara to sleep with me, Kara to sleep with me, Kara to sleep with me.
It's crazy how well you know how my brain works. That I'm just tripling up on one of them. If I do it 3 times, it's bound to work.
Because I'm with the same woman, right? So that makes me a gentleman.
Hey, Kara, I need a favor. What? Screw me. No.
Drinking
Crucifies him.
contest then?
All right, fine.
Then I'm just taking advantage of you as many times as I can. This game, it just got weird, you know?
All right. You failed to finish your first keg before I did. Rip.
My girl walks by, she's like, you having fun with D&D? I'm like, yeah, I'm just getting this other character drunk, trying to take advantage of her. Be like, you remember Chris who came here? She's like, yeah, I'm trying to fuck him.
And I'm pretty sure her answer to that was carry on.
Yeah, and she was thinking in the back of her head, all right, threesome, yes, 2 dudes.
Wrote it down. He already agreed. Subconsciously, this is fine.
I think I have to fight for position with one of the dogs.
They get all weird and quiet every time. They're all like having a good time, and then it starts, and they're like, we're sorry for anything we've ever done to you. Please don't do that to us next.
So people have ideas of what they want to get from Gemini.
Yeah, I need him to convert my great axe into a standard battle axe.
Mm.
And maybe try to complete my Kratos collection. Not sure yet. I already have the
Alright.
homing axe. I already have the homing spear. And I just need the homing blade.
Alright, I'm back.
Welcome back.
Anyone else we're missing still?
I'm here.
I don't think so.
Alright.
Same.
Flo, we got you?
Yep.
Okay, cool.
I'm here.
In that case. So yeah, next place that I believe you said you were going to is the apothecary. Or not apothecary, alchemist.
Alchemist.
So when you get there, you would find that Danica is just kind of operating, not necessarily out of like a back room, but it's very clear that she's using a store that is also like an herbalist store that clearly lives in town, and she doesn't necessarily. But she's happy to see you come in, and you know, she definitely remembers your face for the most part. She knows who she gave the task to, and oh, good to see you. Hello. Did you happen to find what I was looking for?
We'll reach into bag and pull out the dragon bone.
Oh my god. Is that real? You actually got it? Oh, please do tell. Did they just gave it to you? Did you have to sneak in? How did you manage it?
I asked them for a piece of it and they gave it to me.
With Goliaths! Oh, you must have impressed them first, no?
I didn't. They did.
Points to the
Waves.
party. Yeah. Fantastic. Very well done. Very well done. Oh,
I
this
was
will be
just-
great.
I was just polite and asked them for a piece of it, and they didn't care, so I
That's
took one.
fantastic. Okay, so this will definitely help a lot with my research, but a reward. Do you mind coming back in the morning? I'm pretty sure this will help you a lot. And she's actually holding the bone up while she says that, of course.
I think we have to come back in the morning anyway for some other errands, so it shouldn't be an issue.
Fantastic. Okay. Great. Let me get to work. And she's like already kind of eyeing a set
Before
of...
you do,
Yes?
he has questions, and I will point to Mallo.
What do I have questions about? Who is this again?
You wanted to learn alchemy
Alchemist.
from an alchemist.
Learn.
Oh, yeah,
Learning
that's
takes a
true.
long time.
I bring out the book and I show
Your
it
notes.
to her.
Okay, so she'll take the notes from you. Let me-
The note, the guide or whatever that he gave me.
She definitely takes it out. She looks it over a couple times. She flips a couple pages. She starts pacing back and forth, and this is interesting. I guess you could do that, but what would this be if? Oh, maybe that reagent. I get
We need a translation, essentially.
Yeah, I could kind of tell this was almost like written by someone who's not from this world. I
This
guess.
universe,
Yeah.
this plane, yeah, pretty much.
This will take some work. I guess I could, when in my spare time, while the potion brews, I could kind of try and decipher some of it, but this is a lot.
Well, look to Mallo. It's like, your call.
I mean, I don't see why not to give it to her. So I will leave it with her, and if you want payment for deciphering it, let me know. But I want to learn more about alchemy, and so I
Honestly, I think this will teach me more than it'll teach you. If you're just learning, yeah, it's a good guide, but there's recipes in here that I haven't ever seen before. A lot of monster parts.
can I trust you with this?
I don't know. I guess. I hope. You're the one bringing it to me.
I'll leave it with her.
Alrighty. Thank you very much, I guess.
I will expect to come get it back at some point.
Yeah, of course. In the morning, I'll have at least some understanding for you, like I said, but I guess we'll go from there.
And while that conversation is happening, Carol will turn to Pleuzac. So how did you get here?
I have met a lovely man and another being. They took me in their magical cart from East Haven.
Oh.
I do come with, well, some news that might be unfortunate.
Oh, good news or bad news? I love good news. And like immediately the alchemist's in your business.
Looks back to Pleuzac.
There are rumors around town that you, and I'm looking at Mallo initially, and then the rest of the group,
Both middle
Are-
fingers are just up still.
are all in danger.
Blanks twice. And?
There seems to be a myth, I don't know what you call it, but there's a Rex, a Tex, a Mex,
A hex?
a Hex.
Mexican standoff.
Not again.
A Hex that is coming after you. All of you.
Yeah, that one already happened. Unless you mean another one.
When did that happen?
Last night.
Well, I heard this morning that this was going to happen. They had heard this morning.
Do you know which hex?
Yes. It is the hex of air. Of lack of air. Of asphyxiation.
So Mallow, upon hearing that, I want you to do me a history check. See how good your memory is after 10 years.
Oh, yikes. Not good.
Should
I
say
mean,
the
this is where he's going to
disadvantage,
double nat 20.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that's true. It's like that one. Kill them all. Are you there, Mallo?
Did we lose him?
You're muted.
He's not on roll 20, so there's a good chance he blue screened.
Oh, that's fair.
Yeah, that's right.
Proper
Oh,
timing
yeah.
to choose. There it is.
Ah, there it is. Wow.
Good call,
Called it.
Chris. All right, Kim, you can roll for him. All right. I guess since he's
Exactly.
not here, how do I want to play this? Yeah, I guess I'll just wait for him to come back.
Yeah, we can like or
So for the rest of you, for
go to
now,
Gemini, I guess.
Mallo's brow furrows as he hears this. But of course, as we have said, it's been like 10 years for him mentally since he's even thought about like the hex and stuff like that. So it's going to take him a minute to try and remember. So in that meantime, you guys can keep talking, and then when he gets back, I'll probably have him even roll it normal, probably, because he's spending so much time thinking about it. It's really, really thinking hard, you know?
Are you sure it was hex of asphyxiation? Would it have possibly been eternal slumber?
No, it wasn't about sleep. And I was hearing the group is not to be welcomed
I'm back.
in any area.
Good job. Welcome back. Just do me a favor and for you, it's just a normal roll, because it's advantage, but you have disadvantage from exhaustion. A history check as Mallo. Beautiful. 10 is exactly what you needed. So, what you missed while you were away is essentially Pleuzac has been informing the group that he heard about some rumors being started in reference to a hex of asphyxiation. In your instance, when you heard this, you had to rack your brain for a minute, it being about 10 years since you've actually thought about this sort of stuff. But it suddenly clicks. The hex of asphyxiation is most certainly one of your brothers, and you know for sure, as one of the carvings on your skin, on your back, is his. He is, in fact, one of the ones that you believe you've killed in the past. And yet, here the turtle is, for, no reason, because he's not been with the group. It's not like he would have heard what your father said in the bar. He is bringing him up.
Okay. How is he alive? Okay.
People in the town are being told to keep you out. Make things as difficult as they can for you.
Do you know which town?
I came from East Haven. The people there didn't seem to care for this warning. And they said that the party is working with and for Auril, which I know to definitely not be true.
What the hell?
So this is what he meant.
What am I missing?
Well, at the end of our last bout with the Hex, he told us that we were going to be feeling the full fury of his organization.
And you're telling me that the full fury of his organization is rumor spreading.
So
Well,
Mallo,
it doesn't take a lot to make people question what they know.
I want you in particular, when this is said, to take note of, Mace saying that. And again, it's been a bit for you, but this doesn't even take a history check because it is so ingrained into you from your training. It's been a bit since, again, you've thought of it. But as soon as Mace mentions rumors, you realize, no, that is exactly one of the tools the Hex uses. In fact, rumors are the main thing that the Hex organization use. If you need more info on it, I can, of course, explain that to you. But you think that he's probably pretty spot on, whether he is willing to accept it or not. Kara, as well, I should say, is most certainly correct from what she's saying. You would assume.
I mean, it makes sense. You go to a place, you spread a bunch of rumors, the person gets, segregated from everyone else. It makes it easier to kill them.
In your father's instance, you would know that he actually didn't often designate targets himself. Your siblings as well were trained not to, but that's not to say they didn't. You don't know. In his case, he would have explained that the best thing to do is to start rumors of the hex itself as a ritual, and then let the people decide who deserves to die. And you can just hang in town as long as you can make money off of it.
I'm gonna reiterate this to Kara then.
Mhm.
This is what we do. You go into a town, you speak of the hex, people decide who dies. We make sure they die.
So we would assume towns that we have at least a semi-decent rapport with would be less inclined to believe or use those rumors.
I haven't exactly been the best person though to help keep that rapport with any of them.
We know East Haven likes us. We know several people in Bernshire like us. Can't speak for other of the 10 towns. I know there's one of the 8 that's just gone.
We also
pretty
have the tribes.
I don't think the tribes would be an issue. They're pretty... Well, you've spent time with those Goliaths. They don't let people in unless they pass tests.
Oh, true, but still, they wouldn't be brought in. They wouldn't be... Nobody would try to bring them into this.
Even if they tried, I don't think they'd succeed.
True.
Well, at the least, we need to listen for rumors. If we hear the rumors of a hex a bit more vividly, I guess, there might be one close. We could always use that.
The main thing that we need to listen to is who people don't like too, as well, within the rumor of the hex, who the people think deserve death. Because that would give us a chance to capture him.
Capture? Are we still entertaining such ideas?
I mean, we can straight up kill him, but if we capture him, if we capture him, he's of no use. We kill him, but I mean, it's up to you guys.
We've already learned that the hex uses everyone like a network.
Then kill him.
But the question is, well, it's not a question, but the reason is how we do it. They can't be wearing a mask. The mask has to be off of them for us to succeed.
Speaking of that, before we turn in tonight, I'll go out of the city for a while and try to break.
Not alone.
I actually have a bit of an idea on that, if you want.
We'll turn
Speak.
to look at her.
No, that was chance specifically to Mace.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, she'll see me turn to the hammer and
yeah, you
say
like
speak.
lift it off your hip, right? But the place with the guy in the suit where I can talk, I bet he could help, or at least provide somewhere that's better than out in the middle of nowhere.
Well, it's kind of tomato. They are at the edge of the city, but I get your meaning.
Yeah, I don't know, just seems like he knows more about us. And he, like, you could get the sense he's just, magic items like him, right? Then maybe
Right. I understand. And truth be told, you two, as I look at Kara and Mallo, may or may not want to head that way as well.
Head where?
We met with the strange merchant and his aide earlier.
Oh. No, I did need to speak to them again, anyway.
Yeah, he gave us some insights regarding, well, Chance and my new pen pal, shall we say, and Leaf Sword, though. As I sort of lean closer and sort of whisper, I think I may now know more about Leaf Sword than he himself does.
Blinks once. Are you gonna tell him?
I think we all know
I'm not
and
sure you understand.
understand more than Leif understands.
She wants me to touch her better.
Stops, looks around, looks back to Mace.
He wants him to be a gentleman.
Chivalrous, shall we say?
Oh. Is that it?
In as many words, I guess. So yes. But
To which Kara will look over and be like, well, if everything they're saying is right, treat your sword like a fancy lady.
He was never taught by his father to be a man.
yeah, man.
Kara will put a hand on Leif's shoulder. I don't know how to help. I lost my memories.
Listen, I got some basic etiquette taught to me. I can probably help. And it might serve if I provide some contrast. For example, me and Chance, we're brothers. We know our relationship to each other. And we know where each other stands in that bond we share. You and your sword are more like partners. And most partners aren't going to be sticking around if they are not provided with their demands. In this case, I think she's demanding for you to be courteous and, well, delicate, shall we say, for her.
I mean, I can do delicate.
In that regard, perhaps the best step would be to maintain your field, your line of sight above the neckline on most women.
I gotta do all that now?
It's just art.
I can treat her better.
So, in that regard, once you figure out how to do that, perhaps she'll be a little more talkative to you.
Yeah, I guess what I did with Mallo's sister probably wasn't gentleman-like.
Well, here's the thing. She's not your lover. She doesn't care who you bed. What she cares about is that you see the value of everyone that is near you, be it a one-night stand or otherwise. Look past the flesh, as I say that.
He's like banging on his own metal chest.
Yeah.
I think I'm starting to understand. This is definitely a path that will take time.
It's not only about treating women, but
The men too?
how you treat and act yourself to other people.
You ever hear about knights? How they're tied up by a code and are only meant to act in specific ways?
I mean, he's a
One-
gallant warrior. He'd fit in perfectly in Valhalla.
One might look towards a paladin's oath.
Yeah, I can't help you with
So-
that.
So at this point, like Leif, you feel the sword is just like vibrating in its scabbard. You really don't get a sense of what that means, but clearly the sword's got something going on.
Gives Slave a boner.
No, if anything, he's standing there like almost doing like the hula hoop, like even though he doesn't have one on him, the sword is just like started to shake so much. His whole pelvic like shelf is just moving. Regardless, I guess at this point, Danica, I think is her name, just looks up at all of you from like an assortment of bottles and things. She's got parts of the dragon bone already kind of scraped off and cracked, and she's testing it and stuff. Just goes, "So, you gonna live here, or I guess what's going on?"
Sorry, we got involved in something. We had a moment of revelation.
Yeah, I could tell. I had no idea what the fuck was going on after a while, so I stopped listening.
Yep, that's about right. Carol will walk out the door.
Thanks for your hospitality.
Yeah, no problem. Don't. I think you're schizophrenic. I have medicines for that.
I'll pass. I doubt they'd do much for me, anyways.
Yeah, you're made of metal. Probably fair.
Hammer waves to her on the way out. Oh my god, he might not be schizophrenic.
Yeah, right. One of the tendrils just like separates. Oh, I think I'm going crazy too. Must be catching. But yeah, so at this point, I guess you guys all leave. Are you headed towards Gemini's at this point? Yeah.
They told me that he was there, and I should
Yeah, I
talk to
believe
him.
so.
So
Just
yeah,
wanted to make sure. Okay.
I wanna ask Claw, can we see if we can get something better than the rapier? You okay with that?
By all means. It doesn't hold sentimental value for me, so.
Okay.
So at this point, you guys would all be coming in from the bottom door. So I'll just kind of shift the three who are here. You, the other two, you can put yourself down with them. Kara, I'm assuming you'd probably be in the lead. Pleuzac immediately goes back over into what he was looking at before. As you enter, once again, Leif, your sword kind of flies up and out of its scabbard. The first thing it does, actually, Pleuzac, is it flies over and stops you from moving too far. And it just kind of sits in front of you for a moment and simply says to you, "Do not assume you understand a thing about Conger. He was a great man who did many great things. His sole regret in life was how little he was able to teach his son. He had that regret. Don't act like he didn't."
oh, that sword talks too.
Then she flies up over to you, Mace. "Thank you for trying to assist my disciple of an owner. But you are slightly off. I care not for what he does. Honestly, I wish he would be a little more honest in what he wants. I'm saying I wish he would treat me more gentlemanly, not as if I was just some trinket or bauble like any other. But thank you again for trying to assist him. Now please stop talking about me as if I'm not around in the future. I work the same way as your little one there." And she kind of points the tip towards Chance.
Well, we'll involve you in any conversation here forth then. Just as if you were standing in front of us.
Do as you will. She just kind of starts floating around the store.
Just my sword's just not with me. Nice.
Just perusing. I was like, oh, is that a new, like...
If
I don't
anything,
know,
you notice that
whetstone?
after a while, the sword actually kind of floats over behind the counter and starts chatting with Marino.
I feel so loved.
I want to.
The
I
interesting
want
thing
to.
that you would notice, Kara, is as much as Marino does notice you come up to the counter, Marino is far more focused on this sword. It seems a little more interesting. And then as it approaches and they do start chatting a little. It's actually, what languages do you speak?
I speak.
Speak deep speech.
I see celestial, common, giant, and infernal.
Yeah, so Celestial, he would actually understand a little bit of their conversation. For the most part, she simply greets Marino. You would understand. The thing is, it's very archaic, is I guess the best way I'll put it. So there's definitely a lot you do understand, but it sounds kind of strange. So it would be things like, "Greetings to the Allbringer. Hopefully you have been well. The All-Ender has treated you kindly, and, things have been fun," is kind of the best translation you can understand. And Marino would simply respond with, "I'm enjoying my life, as we both are. Fun is never far from us. We are good at creating it ourselves now. And I am sorry that you are so dissatisfied with Conger's choice." And the sword would simply reply with, "I am not dissatisfied, just exasperated at how hard it is to get him to understand." And that's about it before Marino smiles and nods and
I
just
guess
says,
Caro would chime in and just be like, You need to be as direct as possible with that one.
This sort of kind of face you a little, and in Celestial would simply say, things that are given versus learned are easier forgotten. My role here is not to give, but to teach.
She'll just shrug and be like, just need to make sure it's a language he understands.
It is that is very difficult, for even common does not seem one of the ones viable.
I'm not sure I speak alien fish.
Yeah, exactly.
We had one that could. He might have been able to.
Yikes.
Wow.
Oh boy. All right, but yeah, that's the extent of their conversation. And Marino at that point, especially with you butting in, is just like, huh, all right, well, interesting, I guess. How can I help you today?
Kara will reach over her shoulder and pull the Rhoda's axe out. I'm like, I need to make this smaller.
Smaller. Okay. So what?
Able to
You
be
want
wielded
great
with
axe
one
to
hand.
battle axe, or are you talking more like a hand axe?
I guess a battle axe would be great. I need to be able to wield it with one hand, but I still needed to have a decent bit of force behind it.
Yeah, battle axe is it's kind of like a longsword, right? You can do one or two. Just probably would work in either. Yeah.
Also, I want to piss off my sister, so modifying her axe would just infuriate her.
You want me to change the runes on it too, to say like property of Kara or something?
Oh, that would be perfect.
Okay. I mean, right now it's kind of. She just looks down and. By the greatest powers of the Overlord Odin and he Heimdall who protects us all, strike mine enemies down? I mean, you want me to just change that to Kara's axe, or do you want it to be kind of fancy too?
I didn't realize that her name wasn't on it. Maybe I wouldn't change that. I think modifying just the shape would be enough.
Alrighty then. And
Just add
as
now mine bitch to it.
Mine now, bitch. But it's actually in common. It's just like scratched in with like a shiv.
Oh, I could do that myself.
Yeah,
That's not a
exactly. That's
problem.
fair. It's a magic weapon though. Might be harder for you, but regardless, Marno at that point just does. You lay it on the counter, and Marno kind of grabs the haft, pulls it down below the counter for not even like a fraction of a second. It just leaves your line of sight, comes back up, and it's literally a battle axe that looks exactly the same, just shrunk down. You think that you could easily grab the haft with two hands and do a nice woodcutter swing if you needed some extra force, but otherwise, perfectly wieldable in a single hand. And it's still vicious.
Perfect.
So,
Okay.
just the same thing in a different form.
I am gonna modify that now.
I'm gonna go grab the rapier from Claw, and then go up.
So, interestingly,
Okay.
as you go to look for the rapier, you actually don't see it.
Okay.
Whoa.
Mace.
We've been robbed.
Mace, what did you do?
Me, I didn't do anything.
Where's the rapier?
I do not know.
You don't feel any different, by the way, Mace. As far as you're aware, it feels like when you last had it on you. You feel like you have the same magical advantages.
Yeah.
Did it
I
just
kinda
become
get the gist.
part of you?
What do you mean? How would that even be possible?
The same way that your armor does? Did the magical properties just infuse into your being?
You look down
How
and
would
you
you even
realize
be
that he's
aware
now
of
got
that?
like a 3-foot dick that's super needle thin, straight down towards the ground. It's just that the blade has been towards you all this whole time, so you haven't really been able to see it. No, absolutely not.
I call it the mosquito.
And the best part is, whenever you really want to, you can slide that to your right leg and then pop the Punisher off your left leg, and you just like quickly flip them
Exactly.
out, and it looks like it's just engorged itself.
And then I do the splits and then they shoot off.
Rocket dick activate! Oh,
Wow.
dear.
reset.
Pleuzac's over there in his notebook. Rocket dick activate. Don't know what
Yep.
does, but we'll figure out.
It's a secret weapon that will serve us later.
Yeah, there it is.
I'm not
Everybody's
sure
got
what you're
their
referring
gimmick.
to.
Kara has gods. Mallo's got an assassin family. Mace has got a rocket dick. All right.
Can I roll insight on what he's telling me?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Now, I guess the question to you, Mace, would be if you're trying to deceive him. I won't make it a question. I'll make it a statement. If you're trying to deceive him, not that I necessarily think you are, but your choice, just roll me a GM.
Mace himself doesn't know where the
He's-
rapier is. He has an inkling,
that's fine.
but
I was going to say if you wanted to, if you felt like you knew and you don't want Mallo to know, you can roll a deceit check to, or yeah, I think that's what it is, or whatever, to GM. It's better to keep hidden. But if otherwise, you can just
yeah, no, but
talk it
Mace
up.
wouldn't really know. He he'd assumed that Mallo took it before, but otherwise no, since he didn't remove him himself.
Yep. Absolutely. Then yeah, in your case, Mallo, with that insight, you would be able to tell that for the most part, Mace seems to be being honest to you, and you would also be able to tell pretty readily that he is not trying to be deceitful in any way. So it's kind of a two-step thing of like, yeah, he's not hiding anything, and what he's saying, he definitely is being honest about. So
1 second.
yeah, no problem. I heard Kiddo in the background.
While that's taking a second, I would do one more thing.
Yep, absolutely.
Kara would pull out the container that Zhanglong had given him, or given her, when he made the pills, and would open it up and
I'll be right
I
back.
guess now see what the contents of how many he gave her were.
There are 2 pills contained within.
Okay. And she would put one of the 2 pills on the counter and go, "What do you make of this?"
Marino would pick it up, would roll it between their fingers, and kind of bring it to their tongue, taste it a
Not
little.
necessarily what it is, but what it was made into.
I think it's serviceable. I don't know that I would necessarily call it a potion, but I guess what do you want to know?
It was made by one who said he was from another realm. Just have you ever seen anything like this before?
I mean, yeah, but again, it's not something normal to this land for a reason, I guess.
Looks over at Gemini, who just...
Well, I guess what it comes down to is this. You're from another realm. If I were to bring up, let's say, the Jotunheim, none of the people in this room would understand what that is except for maybe you. So, clearly it's real, exists. The things there are there. But to bring it here would cause them to be just as real, but out of place. That's these. Equally the same thing that they would be in their realm, just out of place here. Different.
Okay. The individual who made these was looking to take a flower to save his loved one. I don't remember what the disease itself was. Just wondered if, as I've been brought to my attention, that you are not quite, what's the word I want to use? Mortal. You might have more knowledge on the matter.
I mean, I do. What, again, though, are you specifically looking for? You want to know if it would have worked?
Yeah, I guess.
No. What she's fighting off is a venom. It's a bit different from a poison. So,
Well, then it's probably for the best that he decided to take the course of action he did then.
I mean, yes and no. I guess that ultimately comes down to how long it takes him to get back. But, we'll see what happens.
Alright, out of character. What's the mechanic for trying to get a magical item from the group? Is it like a lottery thing, or is it just trade in, trade out at this point?
It was a die roll.
So, well, that was a one-time thing because it was you kind of joining the Mysterium, is I guess the best way to put it. Um,
Gotcha.
at this point, you kind of have to trade items for items.
Okay.
So if there's stuff people have that they don't want and there's nothing they want in return for it, you could theoretically ask them if they don't mind trading it to you to let you trade it in for something. But
I just
realistically,
wasn't sure
this
what
is
how
more.
it worked. At
Yeah,
this
the
point.
mechanic at this point, the initial one was a free one to kind of get everyone a magic item earlier. Um,
Mhm.
this point on, it's a mechanic that allows you when you have useless items, useless things that like you really don't want, it lets you turn them into at least something that you're going to use or something that feels more valuable to you.
Yeah.
But if you don't already have something to trade in, I'm not going to let you just like get stuff because I feel like it might make the campaign a little imbalanced if I'm not prepared for it, you know.
Of course.
But yeah, as long as the item you have an item of that kind of level at this point, it's going to be what it's going to be.
Oh, I mean,
So
I have a item I'm not going to really use very much,
yeah, so
but
maybe
I
try
don't
trading
think
that
it's
one
got
in.
much of value.
You might be able to at least get something out of it, or if you trade it in with other things that other people are not using, you might be able to get something of higher value. I'm not going to say that I'm not fluid about getting you the things that you want. It's just going to need enough cost that it feels like it's worth it, you know.
Yep, no worries. I mean, if anything, I'll put one in the bank on this because I'm not really going to use the Hook of Fisher's Delight for much of anything.
Sure, sure.
I used it the one time just to mess around with something, but
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
I don't think I used it because I evidently also have that.
You guys were kind of
you borrowed it.
yeah,
Oh,
you
is that
both
what it
were
was? It
trading it
must
back
have
and
just
forth. Yeah, it was fine.
Okay.
The party only has the one, no matter what.
Okay.
But it doesn't matter if you both had one on there just to see it or whatever. It's not a problem. So let me go back to the Gemini.
I was looking at
section
that
of my
earlier and I
notes.
was like, I don't remember that.
Okay, so
It is a wondrous item.
Wondrous Uncommon.
No, wondrous rare.
Okay.
So it's blue level.
Yep.
I just don't know what I would trade it for at this point because
Yeah,
I don't
so-
know what rarity
Just
rating.
keep in mind as well. You know, when the Mysterium shows up is kind of at certain set intervals, so it might be a bit before you see it again. What I can do is basically you can leave now, and since tonight is a Mysterium night, if there's something you think of by the end of tonight, or even I can give you till the beginning of next session maybe to trade that out for. We can kind of do it a little retroactively just to give you some cushion room.
I just got to figure out what items are on that level that
Yeah,
would be
yeah. Go ahead.
equivalent.
We'll call it. Yeah, I guess we'll call it till the start of next session. That should be fair. I mean, 2 weeks is a lot of time, and there's a possibility of me saying no anyway. So yeah, that's fine. We'll lock it in before next session. At that point, it's either in the bank or you have something in place of it. That sound fair?
Yeah, sounds good to me. I'm just gonna put in very rare as a search filter and go through that.
Very rare.
Oh, not very rare, rare, blue,
Yeah.
whatever the hell it was.
Gotcha. I was like, is that a fucking denomination? I didn't remember that one. Yeah, no problem. So you go ahead and do that. Anyone else have anything they want to trade in while you guys are here?
So what's going on with? So because I blue screened again.
Yeah, no worries.
So so Mace has no idea what happened to it, or he has a idea.
All right. Claw, as a player, has an idea of what happened to it. Mace, as a
God.
character, thinks he might know, but is so unsure that what he's told you is, I'm not really sure. And when you insight checked at a 19, you were like, okay, he's not trying to hide anything from me as far as I can tell. And what he's told me is the truth as far as I can tell. So he probably doesn't know what's happened to it. Is kind of where you're at. And also keep in mind, Chris, as we discussed before, if you choose something like an amulet, it would replace the one that you currently have.
Yeah, no,
So-
no, I'm just calculating a list of other things in the
Yeah, I
category.
gotcha. Just wanted to make sure it was clear enough so that we didn't run into that later.
Yep.
Can I show him the pendant?
Him, Gemini? Him,
Yeah.
Marino? Him, Mace?
Gemini.
Okay,
Gemini,
yeah.
can I show him the pendant? Since we don't have that, the rapier, we won't trade that.
Absolutely. Well, the interesting thing with the rapier is you still haven't figured out what happened to it. So we'll see about that. But in terms of what you're doing, yeah, you can walk up with the pendant, and I'm assuming you're not taking it off. You're just gonna hold it out to him.
Yeah, and I kind of look at Mace and I'm just like, okay, we'll figure that out in a second. See if you can figure anything else. I'll be right back.
Okay.
I walk over
So
to
you walk
Gemini
up to
and
him, you show it to him. I guess he would simply say,
Yeah, it's a nice necklace. What do you want?
can you sense anything from it?
Yeah, a whole bunch. I know exactly whose it is. I know exactly what it's for. But I'm not sure you get to know unless you've been told. Or what?
Where did we get this from again? I'm trying to remember.
I'll let your party fill you in. They should know.
That necklace was given as a reward from Magnus, and he said he was an emissary, or at least an agent of another deity. One who liked to use electricity, to say the least.
This was given to us as a gift from someone who is an emissary of what he explained, someone who likes to use electricity.
That's what Kara's explanation actually. She saw it firsthand, but yeah,
Yeah.
that was like Kara actually saying that out loud to your character. But yeah, so
Okay.
he just kind of nods as this information is being passed and is like,
Yeah, and I'm still failing to understand what exactly it is you're looking for from me.
What does it do?
I mean,
looks over at Marino. All right, I'll find out. 1 second. And Marino just at this point stands up and walks off this way. And you guys notice there's a door on the side of the room that just disappears behind it.
well, that's going to depend wholly upon whether or not we're allowed to tell you. We'll tell you in a minute. Anyone else got anything you want to do?
How about you, Mace? Anything you're looking to
Actually, there is one more thing.
do? Okay, go ahead, Kara. Just figuring
How
out
would
the
you
room
go
here.
about breaking an item that is magically manipulated?
Oh, I mean, it depends. You want to break it yourself, or you just want it broken? Because I could take it into my workshop in the back and turn it into dust in a matter of seconds.
Well, I'm sure you could do that on your own, and we would probably employ those services. How would we do it without your assistance?
He kind of looks around and just,
What are you looking to break? You want to break that axe, or what?
Kara would look over at Mace, just kind of, like gesture, like, come on over.
did we lose Claw too?
So I
Oh
thought.
no. Claw, no.
It is about that time.
That is kind of true. That 8 p.m.
Yeah, it
already
is.
closes out. Hopefully we don't lose him for good this time like last time.
No,
Oh,
no, sorry. It's
no.
not, I got distracted.
No, okay. As long as we didn't lose you. So
Yeah.
Kara is calling you over because she's asked about destroying the mask. And
Yeah.
Gemini basically said, you looking to do it yourself or you want me to do it? So he asked afterwards when she said, no, how would we go about doing it? He asked what it
Right.
is you're trying to destroy. So she's asking you to kind of bring it over.
Right. So I guess I'll just over and hand over Mallo's former mask, I guess.
Yeah, no problem. So
I
as
will
soon
be
as you
right back
pull it
up
out
to
from,
restart.
underneath your cloak or from in your bag of holding, actually, I think you have, he kind of reaches out, takes it, and just,
Interesting. All right. So you're looking to destroy this, yeah?
That and every other one of those we come across.
So that's why you needed to know. Well, the good news is you got yourself a very particular type of weapon that would be very perfect for this sort of, expertise, we should say.
and as he says that, he snaps his fingers, with his right hand specifically, the mask is in his left. And as he snaps, you guys hear that it is louder than any snap that you've ever come across. Almost like a gunshot. Not necessarily anything that you would know that it is,
Yeah.
but a player
Single
definitely.
finger in her ear, Kara's like, ow.
But as he does that, Chance flies up off of your, call it your weapon belt, Mace.
Mm.
However you tend to slide him through, and then over to Gemini's right hand, almost in the blink of an eye. He just holds the hammer aloft, and as he does so, even though Chance isn't necessarily with you anymore, well, actually he can talk in this plane, so he does actually speak out to you. It's okay. This is warm. And Gemini just kind of nods at him.
Well, you definitely have the right stuff. Although that doesn't surprise me in the least.
And he just kind of puts the mask down on the table next to him, and he slams down on it with the hammer. And much like you experienced with the Dragon Man, you watch these kind of ripples of extra force extend out from the kind of flat edge of the hammer as soon as it contacts the mask. And although there's this definite kind of ripple, this wave of energy back towards Gemini, it's not something you would have seen when you had done this yourself, of course, but third person, you kind of notice it as clearly the damage you took when you did it yourself. In this instance, it actually kind of just dissipates before it ever hits Gemini, but the forces that hit the mask most certainly do, and it seems to crack the mask. And as he picks the hammer up, he just kind of, not even tosses it per se, just like opens his hand, and once again, Chance, like, he spirals through the air once effortlessly and just lands perfectly back into your weapon belt again. And Gemini just reaches over with his left finger and taps the remaining mask, which is already cracked. Like, it's in multiple pieces at this point, you know, a good 6-7 pieces, clearly broken. And he just reaches out at this point and he taps kind of in the center of it, and it slowly just dissolves into nothing, essentially, dissipates into the air. And just,
Once it's in pieces, it's pretty much worthless. But I'm gonna get rid of it just 'cause garbage is garbage and don't want it cluttering the store.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
No problem at all. Just glad that we already provided a tool that's capable of what you need.
As am I. And Kara will look over to Chance and thank you.
That's no
Mace will
problem.
fist bump Chance.
he reaches up one of his tendrils and fist bumps you back, and he's just,
It's no problem. Just glad I could help, I guess. It's fun having a role in the party.
You always did. Maybe
Yeah,
just...
but it was just for you to hit things with me. Now it's something only I can do.
Indeed. Now that I know that there are more people involved with this than I thought there were, gesturing both to Chance and to Fortuna now that I know her name.
Kara technically wouldn't, but you as a player, yeah.
Well,
Speaking of, Fortuna
yeah.
is actually currently not visible. But you would notice pretty readily that as Marino
I
actually...
mean, I had a conversation with the sword. I just don't know its name.
Yes, you know exactly. You know Fortuna exists. I'm just saying the only people who currently know its name are the ones who were here when it was set
Yeah.
earlier. So,
I
but yeah,
understand that. Yeah.
you would actually notice that once again Marino eventually walks out of the back room, and returns to the stool, and the Fortuna is actually following. It's basically the thing. They're just chatting
Okay.
away in Celestial still. But at this point, so it was the
What is the purpose of the medallion?
the medallion. I was going to say the potion. I'm like, that's wrong. What is it they gave her? So the medallion itself is just hanging from Marino's hand. You actually wouldn't even realize that it ever left Mallo's neck, strangely enough. But it's laid out onto the counter, and just kind of, you know, in a nice showman way. You know, the necklace part is looped well, and the front face is sitting upward. It's nice and shiny, and Marino just kind of...
Well, good news and bad news. Which one you want first?
I always prefer the bad news.
Bad news is I'm not really allowed to tell you the full extent of what this thing does. Apparently, and I quote, it loses power if you start to believe it can do what it can. Don't ask me how. God shit's bullshit sometimes. On the other hand, I can tell you that as long as you keep using it like you are, it'll make sure that nothing bad befalls you. Not the worst, at least. Bad things can still happen, but, like, you know, bad things.
Keep it with us, but don't focus on it.
It's gonna be able to be the best assistance that way. It's one of those things that, like, some people can't pee if you watch them. It's like that.
I never would have imagined a deity would be gun shy, but all right.
Again,
Some
it'll
people
work.
can't be
It's just
when
not the same.
Kara was just going to shrug. Not my god.
Weird.
No,
is
it's not.
there is there someone we should give this to?
The amulet?
Yeah.
Not
it'll,
me.
It'll work
I don't-
on anyone, technically, but when it comes down to it, I actually think...
And actually, it's very interesting because you say that, and the entire time that, you know, Marino's talking, they're kind of scratching at their chin in a very thoughtful way, eyes kind of looking skyward. and then a grin, a very playful grin, plays across their face for just a fraction of a second. And they
I want
look
to
down.
perceive
Mace.
this.
They look down towards. You're the one who notices it more than anyone else, but they look down
Okay.
towards Gemini, who gives just a very slight nod. And Marino simply finishes the statement.
The metal man makes the most sense. If you take things into account.
Kara will turn around with that same shit-eating grin from earlier and just like, care for a test of faith?
Or no faith. You're muted.
No, no, yeah. What did you ask me?
It was suggested that it's likely the amulet would do best on you for some reason or another by Marino. And Kara and Pleuzac basically looked at you and it was asked, care for a test of faith.
That's an interesting way to phrase it. I'm not opposed to it, but as he leans a little closer and lowers his voice, are we sure it's not going to end up as a snack?
Why would the amulet end up as a snack?
So at that point, Marino actually would kind of bust a gut laughing, slap the table a couple times, and then like, wipe a tear from the one visible eye.
No, no. That's not at all how that works. Oh my. Very interesting question, but no. I don't think that Chance there is ever going to be able to devour something that's literally got the power of a god touching it. He might be better, stronger,
Oh, that's even
more
more
interesting
perfect.
than other magic items, but at this point, this is holy, not magic.
That's
I
even
wouldn't
more
sell him
perfect.
short to soul.
He doesn't believe in that sort of stuff anyway. We should definitely give it to him.
Mace or Chance? Because Chance certainly does.
Oh, I meant Mace.
Chance is just,
Yeah, I've talked with your god, by the way.
I know. You asked. Well, I know you have faith in gods. You've asked me about it.
Yeah. Thor's a kind of interesting guy.
Yeah.
Does he actually have a lot of the capabilities he says?
Well,
He
I
told
remember
me he
being-
used a moose to beat a man to death once.
He's probably done that.
He said he used a moose to beat you to death once.
He definitely did that.
How does one use a moose?
Oh, it's like how anyone else would. You pick it up and you swing it around.
Like me? Am I a moose?
No, you're not a moose, but Thor's looking for the appropriate word in her mind and just flatly special.
just kind of, you see him do the nod again.
Okay. Really strong, though.
I know. Unconsciously scratching stomach.
Yeah, fair.
Okay, well, if you say that there's no risk and you truly insist that I wear such a piece of
Oh,
jewelry,
I certainly insist.
And you see that same grin kind of return to Marino's face. And Marino simply just takes and like taps the amulet, and it just disappears from everybody's view. And Mace, you are now attuned to that amulet. Mallo,
Okay.
you no longer are. The good thing with Marino can basically attune you right away. It's actually the
great.
same with you, Chris, if you need it for the axe. I don't think so, but
The axe actually doesn't have an attunement.
yeah, I didn't think so. It's just if you did, that's how Marino tends to work. So
as far as attunement goes,
you can take the rapier off. I would leave it, I guess, on the D&D Beyond sheet until you need the slot for something else, just to
yeah,
keep the effect there.
it's fine just to keep the yeah. No,
Yeah,
I meant
you
I was
technically
going
do
to
have
ask more
2 free
about
slots right now. Yeah.
The matter of we just still know only what they told us about this, right? I don't know. I'm not aware
Yes.
about any ongoing effects or anything like that.
Correct. You were told sort of the extent of the more you try and force the amulet to work or rely on its power, the less likely it is to help you, or maybe the
Right.
less of an effect it'll have, is the best way to put it.
And that's why I said you were the perfect person for it, because you don't believe in gods anyway, so
you
who
won't
better to
rely on
That's
carry it than
true.
a non-believer?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I mean, understood then. Yeah. I'll wear it. I'll be the bearer of this thing.
Absolutely. Okay then. Yeah, so that's technically 2 attunement slots, but you only have
Uh-huh.
2 filled, not 3. So.
Yeah.
Alrighty. But yeah, that's it for now in that regard. Anything else anyone wants from Gemini and Marino?
Yeah. I want to trade in my +1 shield.
Alrighty. What are we going for?
And I was wondering if I can either. There's a couple of things. So I'm leaving I guess the ultimate choice up to you, if because you're DM.
Yep.
So in top to bottom order, it would be Moon Sickle, Cloak of Protection, or Boots of the Winterlands.
Okay, I think the only one I don't know is Boots of the Winterlands, so let me look that up first.
My reason being because I'm going to be. I have a lot more spells now, right? Since I'm
Yes.
higher level. So
Yes.
I'm not really going to be using the shield.
Absolutely. Okay, hold on a sec.
And they all should be uncommon items.
Yes, you're correct. I'm just trying to figure out. Interesting. And you're doing a +1 shield for that. Do you have anything else you want to trade?
I have the Pearl of Power, which I
probably
think
wanna
I'm
hold on
probably
to.
going to
Yeah.
use, and I have the Wand of Web, which is could be really useful or it could not
Okay.
be.
So
but
yeah,
I also
I just needed to know.
do
Go ahead.
have a dark green Gemini token that I haven't used.
Ah, that's perfect to know. In that instance, I'm glad I had you guys keep track of those. So, Marno would basically. Marno would basically, you turn over the shield, and Marno kind of touches it, looks up at you, and, this has served you pretty well, huh? You're, pretty good about taking care of your items and letting them take care of you. Well,
I
can
do
see.
what I can.
I can see already what it is you're hoping for. I can tell you that sickle you have in mind is going to be quite beneficial. But the boots as well. That little token on your hand. Honestly, considering you can always return both of them for tokens later, I'd suggest you take both. They could prove invaluable. More than you know.
That sounds like a good idea.
Alrighty then. In that instance, I would say you would more than easily see as Marino takes and reaches below the counter and pulls up in one hand a moon sickle +1, and in the other hand your boots of the winter stride or
Winterlands.
Winterlands, yeah. I will tell you, because I have given Chris this heads up, and all of you kind of should be a little ready for this. Auril's Island is exceptionally cold, more so than even anywhere else in Icewind Dale. So even if you have cold resistances, they will still help you a lot, but it is no longer going to protect you in the way that it has in the cold in this area. So just be prepared for more checks related to that, is I guess the best way to put it. So doing something like getting those boots, Fred, because they specify the temperatures that they actually help you resist to, you might actually have better resistance than someone like Mace, who's resistant to cold. He's totally fine in this sort of area, but when you get even colder, he might still have some rolls he has to do. I'm going to have to actually differentiate because of that, depending on...
Because I'm also cold resistant, that's
yeah,
why.
yeah, both of you are the same, but these boots that he just asked about, or asked for, are... they actually specify down to, I think, -100.
Yep.
Mine are -50.
Right. Your
My
ring?
ring is.
Yeah. So his doubles ultimately. If he's wearing heavy weather clothes plus these boots, it actually doubles his resistance as opposed to just giving him a set. So he might be the only one that escapes some of those excess punishments because of that. So definitely an interesting choice. I gotta go look it up and see. You might actually still be within the number, but I think you're over it at -100. We'll find out. Interesting choice, is all I'm saying.
Cool.
I'm not gonna make you do the checking and looking at items now. I'll probably do it with you after the session is
totally
over.
Fine. Totally sounds good. That's
but I've got a list going, and we'll get your opinion on what is equivalent later.
Yep, absolutely sounds good. Let me see
My computer is like dead now, so I'm trying to see if I can do anything to bring it back to life.
Ooh, that's no fun. Well, I can at least tell you We're probably going to end pretty soon. I'm going to get us to a certain point, but you won't have to worry about combat. I'll be straight up on you guys. There will be a little bit more RP we
Okay.
can potentially do, though, so just as long as you're chatting with us, as long as you don't mind, it'll be fine. Trying to find something quick. I'll find that later. Regardless, yeah, so that's Pleuzac getting those. Anyone else want to try and grab anything else? If you have notes as well, Harrison, about what you've got item-wise, we can still trade stuff out.
Yeah, 1 second.
Because I can still access Mallo's sheet for you if you need.
I don't think he writes stuff down there.
Maybe not for notes, but he definitely has all his magic items on there.
The only magic items that I have is the ring,
And
the
the cloak.
amulet, and my cloak.
Yeah, the amulet just went to Mace. So the cloak and the ring.
Okay.
And the cloak is too good for him.
The cloak is
Because
perfect
the
for him.
rapier, so
Yeah.
he also has the rapier too.
The rapier's gone still, as far as you're aware. But yes, the
Okay.
effects are still happening on him.
Okay. Can I get another magic item?
At this point, someone would have to trade a magic item in for you.
Might have something I could. I mean, it's technically a magic item. I can give you one of the pills.
You could potentially.
Oh yeah.
So because it's one of the two, and they are technically another worldly item, it might not count for the same amount as that purple, but we can definitely discuss items that would work in place of that.
So I mean, for sake of conversation, if he's trying to get a rare item, I can trade one of the pills.
Yeah, the pill I would say is probably worth like a rare, maybe not rare or uncommon depending on the uncommon, but definitely a rare and anything under, so any of the uncommon items. Or I'm sorry, wondrous is what I meant to say, not uncommon.
Yeah.
Rare, wondrous might be too far depending on the one. We'll see. All base rare are probably okay for the pill, and anything in uncommon would probably be okay for the pill. So, yeah, if you want to look through that. Kara, I'll have you make a note though for the moment. Take one less pill and just make a note of, blue
one
Marino
pill given.
token or something like that, or rare Marino token, whatever you want to call it.
I have one. Okay.
Yeah, well, we're going to do it since you're trading it in. You'll have the token, but you can trade it for an item for Mallo. And again, same thing as him. With him, he has till next session to figure it out if we want to do that. So the three of us can talk either after the session or just during the week, figure it out.
I'm writing that one down, and I'm just putting in the notes for Mallo.
Yes.
So.
Yep, totally fine.
Because I won't use that one for me unless I trade my other pill for something, but I don't think I'm going to do that.
Right. Yeah, that's fair. Okay. So Leif, your sword finally at this point kind of floats back over and settles back in the sheath. As she does, though, she just says to you, well, here's to hoping. And then just settles back in.
Did you find anything you like?
Slides out a little bit and just, oh no, I'm in no need of any items. It was fun catching up with old friends.
Well, I'm glad you got to see them.
I'm a lady.
Listen, Gemini's got his own tune, okay?
Yeah, the irony is, like, if anyone was looking at Carol, like, how do you want to be traded? Bring me to a decent battle and get me some good goddamn food.
And alcohol, goddammit. But yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
The least ladylike of the ladies, Kara.
Alright, so with that, I guess we will leave the Mysterium. Sound good?
Um,
Go for it.
I gotta give up an item because all 4 of those items take attunement.
Or attunements? Okay, interesting. So, so you say 4. You're using...
Probably the Wand of Web.
the okay, interesting.
Unless somebody else wants that.
I mean, here's an alternative. You could just keep all 4 and cycle them out as you think you need them.
Yeah, I guess that's the thing
Because
too.
the Moon Sickle and the Wand both work as a focus.
Yeah.
So you can just... I mean, you could always trade it into, to be fair. If you want all of them, if you think it could be valuable, you could always just sit on it and trade it out later. And attunement's only in an hour, so...
Yeah, I guess I'll hold on to it because somebody else could always use it if we need to use everything all at once.
That's fair. Yeah. I mean, a wand, as far as I'm aware, you don't have to be a spellcaster to use it, right? It just works as a focus for spellcasters, so it's a little better.
Yeah, it doesn't say you have to not a spell.
I'm pretty
use
sure you can
spells.
just use the charges as a magic item,
Yeah.
even if you're not a magic caster, but it gives you the benefit of being a focus, right? So,
Yeah.
yeah, one way or the other, you can figure it out. And if you do want to, hit same thing to you actually. If you do want to trade it in at some point before the next session, the Mysterium is quote unquote open until that point. So just message me.
Okay.
It's not a problem. So, yeah, I mean it's only fair to do that for everybody. But yeah, okay. Otherwise, in that case, let us move along. So I'm going to bring us to the map of the Icewind Dale for a second.
Okay.
You guys have the bell up where Angajux is. You're currently in Bryn Shander, right? So I guess the question now becomes, how is it that you guys are looking to travel to Angajux Bell? I believe it was like every 15 feet is 10 miles. Yeah. So it's no problem, of course, moving within the 10 towns, but it's, you know, the question of how do you want to go through them, right? So you could go through Bremen and just go straight up. It was mentioned to Mace. I'll remind everyone that if he wants to learn more about Chance, it might be good to go to his father's workshop, which was in Lonelywood.
Yeah, I'd love to.
I don't know if you want to
Because
swing
that's
up
not
there
even on
now.
the way, though, right?
It could be
Well,
on the
it
way,
is and it
right?
isn't.
So that's kind of what the reason I bring it up is
Well,
you guys can choose how you want to go ultimately, but the distance I think from Bremen or from Lonelywood is almost the same. It's just if you want to stick in the tent, it's a little further.
I mean,
but
Lonelywood would be a little longer just because we have to
you also have to
circumvent the
go up
lake.
that way. Yeah, so it's about 10 feet, which is what we say 5 miles. Is that?
So it's about, let's call it 35 miles added onto the bit.
15
No big
feet
deal.
was 10 miles. Yeah, it's not terrible for you guys as well. I mean, you still have. Well, actually, I guess there is the question of currently you have the dog sleds with you at Bryn Shander. Are you taking them with you to Angajux Bell? What are you going to do with the dogs?
I probably wouldn't at this point.
Yeah,
Because
they're
if
gonna
we're
be in
leaving, they're
trouble.
gonna freeze to death wherever the fuck that we leave them.
Yeah.
If you choose to
So-
leave them, yeah. I mean, you could risk. You know, Kara can communicate with the dogs. You could risk telling them go back by yourselves, but do you want to risk that in the wilderness alone?
Oh,
You know?
hell no. She's
Well-
not gonna kill her dogs.
Yeah, so it's up to you guys how you want to handle them. Just figured now's a good point for doing that as well.
One good aspect though is that people of London would know us, and we're in good favor with them. So
We could
Lonelywood?
potentially leave the dogs with them.
I mean, Lonelywood
yeah,
or in
whereas
Bryn Shander?
Bremen, we don't really have much history.
I mean, a little
Okay.
bit of A, a little bit of B.
Gotcha.
We know people in Bryn Shander that would probably be willing to look after the dogs if we left them with them.
Fair.
Yeah, but that leaves us going from Bryn Shander to Targos to Bremen on foot.
Also
No, I
very
know
true.
that. It was more the statement of it doesn't matter where we leave them. We technically have people on both areas that
Oh,
at
yeah, yeah,
least accept us.
Okay. Yep. Very fair. Okay. So it sounds like for the most part, to Lonelywood, leave the dogs, head out on foot. Yeah.
I have no objections.
I'm good.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. So it's about like 11 or 12, noon roughly, on day 35 for you guys, as you start leaving Bryn Shander. The travel.
Hold the thought. Before we leave, have we collected all the items that we'd left behind? Because
Very
we had
fair.
a
Very fair.
dragon's
We'll do that.
potion and
We'll do that nice and
Oh
quick.
yeah, yeah.
In that instance, yes, everything is basically ready. Mallo, you go back and you get your nunchucks, which basically are just going to be, you might want to put them in as like a club or something. Nunchucks don't exist in D&D, but it is just a monk weapon for you. So I'm on your monk die, however you want to flavor text it. The sickle is going to do, the effects of a whip for the chain side, and the effects of the sickle, so
A sickle.
slashing for that side. But otherwise, they both will use your martial arts die again.
They're both going to be used on martial die.
Yes, it will be martial die in terms of damage. So basically everything you do does the same damage. It's just the flavor of how you want to do it.
I think
The only
wise
caveat
thing to
being-
do here would be to equip a whip and a sickle, and
Correct.
should just translate the damage that you need to
it
roll onto
absolutely
those
should.
items.
Yeah, absolutely. And I will remind you, the whip will do damage at 10 feet out of bludgeoning, not slashing like most traditional whips. So you can still use your crusher to a degree with that to kind of move people 5 feet and all that. It should work pretty
But
well
the
for your build.
the sickle aspect will still be slashing.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes. So it depends on which side you swing with. But yeah, it shouldn't matter too much
Can
regards
I
to that. So
do the properties of a whip still, like, I can still move them?
that is not actually normal for whips. Your father has that capability as kind of basically it's his crusher. It just moves him a little further than most. It's up to
Okay.
10 feet for him. For you, you would still be able to use crusher with your whip because it's bludgeoning. Even though his is slashing, it's different, right? But yours is bludgeoning, so it totally works fine with your crusher, and you can manipulate people up to 5 feet with it. Yes.
Okay. Sorry, I'm trying to put a GPU back in.
You're good, man.
You're good.
Alrighty. So with that, so Kara, you already bought everything you needed, so that's just Mallo collecting that
No,
stuff.
but I was supposed to get the,
Yes,
the
I'm
dragon
going
bone
to,
thing.
I'm trying to find the reward to tell
Would
you
there
which
be-
potion that is.
Huh.
Give me a second. Go ahead, Cole.
Any point to us? I guess I need to think how I phrase this. Buying additional, like, because we have cold clothing, but I
need
So the
don't
winter
know.
clothing that you can buy at this point is kind of the best that it can do.
Yeah.
It really
We have
would
cold
take
weather
magical.
gear. It's not the same.
Yeah, it would
I
take.
do need cold weather clothing.
You have
Mallo
it.
does.
Everyone in the campaign kind of has it by nature of being here. It's part of the
Okay.
starting equipment you're supposed to have with Icewind Dale. Let's put it this way: most cold weather gear will get you down to like -30 to -50, no problem.
Yeah.
The ring that Mallo has as well does the same thing. Sets to like a -50. With Auril's Island, the temperatures fluctuate between like -30, -20, and -100, 120, right?
Right.
Super high end. So someone like Pleuzac, who has an item that literally says, if you wear this with heavy weather gear, it adds, more survivability. He might be a little better off. But all you guys who are down to like the -50 survival are still better than someone who doesn't have that equipment or that
Right.
that
Okay.
resistance.
Yeah.
I will
I
also
just
tell
wanted to
you,
know if there
anyone
were
who
like
has an
measures that we should have
actual-
taken.
Yeah, and anyone who has an actual resistance does get even more value on top of that. I didn't mean to say that to scare you. I more meant to just like be ready for a shift. There are going to be more rolls in that sort of regard.
No, of course, of
Um,
course.
But in terms of what you have equipment-wise, you are all basically as prepared as you can be, short of
Okay,
buying a
gotcha.
magical item like what he did, or not buying, but getting. But this one, I gotta still find. Where is it?
Just testing this. See if it
Yeah,
working.
no problem. Where is it?
That pisses me off. Why would they put so many magic items in and be like, oh, you need the book of many
There
things
it
for
is,
this?
found
It's
it.
like, when the fuck did this book come out?
Yeah, it just came out. It's good. It's got a ton of stuff.
I know half the magic items I'm looking at in this search are
Yep.
like, oh, you need this. Oh, you need this. Oh, you need this. It's like, these all sound fucking interesting, you dick.
Yeah, they
Well,
came
I
out
guess
with
that
a
means
lot
the
of
book's
good
worth
stuff
it, right?
too.
Who's
Yeah.
who's got the next birthday coming up? Buy it as a gift for someone on the account, right? All right. Regardless, yeah, here it is. Danica Graysteel. Gotcha. Okay, so actually, much in line with what you guys are talking about. When you return to the alchemist, Danica kind of grins at you, very happy as you walk through the door, and she holds up a potion, a bottle. Does it give me the description on this one? No, sadly. So it looks like a bottle almost covered in frost, or that's what it seems at first, but you realize it's not actually cold to the touch once she hands it to you. It's actually the potion inside looks like it is frosted over. And she basically tells you, that right there is a potion of resistance in terms of cold. So should help you guys, right? You're adventurers. You're out in the cold a lot. I'm trying to make more. Only got the one done. Had a couple failures. And you like look over at the bone and you notice like a third of it is gone. But she still seems to have more that she could potentially make more of these for you. Basically, she tells you that this one's free. Reward for getting me the thing. I'll be making more. So if you want more, come back in the future. And since it is a potion of resistance to cold here, I will tell you anyone who drinks this on Auril's Island will probably not have to worry about the effects of the island for the hour that it is active.
Okay.
yeah.
Potion of cold resistance. Add to bag.
All right, we have life.
Ooh, nice.
Huzzah!
Nice.
Gents, I'll catch you guys later. Have a good night.
Have a good
luck
night,
on your
Cam.
rolls.
Thanks for hanging around.
Bye, Cam.
Bye.
All right. But with that, she basically. Oh, the other thing that she does do when she's done with that, she looks over at you, Mallo, assuming that you can still hear me, Harrison. You here, by the way? Let's make sure before I get too into it.
Yeah.
Is he a
No,
circle
Harrison.
lighting up? I don't hear him anymore.
I'm here. I'm here.
Okay, just making sure. So she hands you your kind of alchemy guide back, and it's got a whole bunch of kind of sheets tucked into certain pages. And she tells you, All right, I'm kind of sorry on this front. So whoever wrote this is clearly out of my league. What they know is way different from me and really, really interesting. And I wish that I could make a copy of this, but I didn't have the time. Regardless, I've got a couple of basics in there that I think you'll be interested in. Well, basics is the wrong term. There's 2 or 3 potions that I've translated. Hopefully they'll be helpful. And you open it up and you start shuffling through, and you would see that everything that she's translated is from a single section. It's earlier in the book, but you can basically tell that you have what are a potion of stability, a potion of healing, or a potion of greater healing, all translated. And you can see kind of notes later on, so you do know that there are also potions up to for healing supreme. There is an elixir of health. I think there's the one Kara actually you gave before. There's a recipe in there for that as well. Potion of vitality is translated, and a potion of invisibility is translated, and there are others as well that are not translated. So,
Okay, so
I should clarify the ones that I mentioned that are translated. It's just the titles. It's basically letting you know there's other stuff that is to come. The more that you get deciphered.
Okay, so what is translated that I can
Stability.
go get the materials?
Yep.
Okay, hold on.
Stability.
Stability.
Yep. Healing.
Okay.
And greater healing.
Okay.
In all cases, you would notice that the recipes seem to call for parts of monsters that have basically, she translated it initially as like high strength, not strength per se, but like high fortitude. That's what I'm looking for. In terms of mechanic, because it is translated now, you would understand that its monsters at highest stat is the con modifier. You might not necessarily know that, but I will tell you when you collect parts this point forward, what those things are. I think even the Craig cats, I might have started doing that for you.
Yes.
She also gives you a list of herbs that would work with them. So at this point,
that's
now.
That's the big thing.
Yeah, and the way that we're going to do it, just to keep things easy, so you don't have to have a list of what to look out for. Very much with what was written before. It's a weird description. Initially, she translates it as robust herbs, but she also does have a list of what she believes are the things that he's talking about. So when you're out foraging, if you're in a wooded area, you can look for these quote-unquote robust herbs. If you have a high enough survival roll, then we'll roll like a d4 to see how many you find, right? So you can start stacking up, and you don't have to worry about it being a specific thing. You just are looking for that type. And as you uncover more types of herbs that might be useful to you, it basically becomes a game of, well, I'm looking for this specific type on this foraging event. Okay, no problem. See if you find it or not.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
All right.
So.
Yeah, because I want to. Let me see really quick.
Yeah, it can add a lot of complexity, but I'm trying to also keep it from being too complex. So.
Herbalism.
Yeah, right.
Herbalism.
It would help. Herbalism would probably give advantage on trying to find stuff, or maybe even extra rolls.
I have a +7.
Oh,
herbalism.
There you go. You can definitely help him if you want to.
Did I
Yeah.
The question is, want to, right? Yeah. Has he ingratiated himself to Pleuzac enough? We got him to apologize to Ravnus. We'll see how it goes, right?
Yeah. Still waiting it.
I thought I added that to this. What the fuck?
What's up?
Item, the claws and stuff that I got. Which did I write it down in this notebook? The joys of having 2 notebooks that I've taken notes down for now.
Gotcha.
Well, Dragonkai, didn't he say some of it was a waste and some of it was good?
1 claw and fang. I got 1 claw and 1 fang.
Okay, and I didn't tell you the type?
It was from the cats that we killed around.
Yeah, I know, but I didn't tell you what its high stat was?
No.
Okay, so let me do that now.
You just... Okay.
Because those ones were done with him. I don't think I'm using this one anymore, so let me just modify this quick. 1 sec.
Oh god, I hate my PC.
Yeah, it's okay. So... Those would be a claw and fang of a dexterous beast.
Okay. So that would help with potions of speed or something. I'm
Yes,
guessing.
you do not currently see a title for a potion of speed translated, but there's plenty of potions that are not yet translated. I will tell you in the background that just is my way of these are potions I don't have
That's
recipes made out for yet. So as I build out my
fine.
compendium, and as you get it translated more and more, I will kind of fill out, the basic level of potions first, and then kind of higher levels as we go on. But
Okay, and then other question that I had, the the voucher. What rarity does that go to?
you talking about the one Kara was doing for you?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's currently on
Blue.
Kara. So you don't need to worry about making note of that. Chris has the note
Well,
for it.
Well,
Oh, I
wanted
see
to
what you're
look-
saying. Sorry, not from Mallo's sheet, but for you to determine. Yeah, so it was anything of rarity that is not wondrous is pretty much acceptable. I might still say no depending, but for the most part, you should be good. Wondrous rares are kind of iffy. You'd have to tell me which one, and we'll see. And then pretty much anything of uncommon, whether it's wondrous or not, would be fine.
All-purpose tool.
Probably.
Okay.
I mean,
No, I'm making it. This is as an action you can put no.
no, I know what that one is. It's almost like the sonic screwdriver from.
Honestly,
Yeah.
that is kind of cool, but I'm gonna look up stuff.
All right. I don't want to keep Mace or Claw too much longer tonight, since it sounds like you're sick. So here's what we're gonna do, just to kind of speed things along. I'm gonna pop us over to Lonelywood, since it doesn't sound like you guys need anything more from Bryn Shander. Yeah.
Pretty sure. Yeah.
So we will go to Lonelywood, and I guess we'll do it this way. How much are you trying to determine from your father's study, Mace? Is this one of those things where you think you want to spend, time looking through all his books, or are you just looking to do like an investigation roll to see if you can uncover anything?
Well, it really just depends on how much of a hurry we are.
Okay. So
Honestly, we're fighting the apocalypse, and the apocalypse is already happening, so we have all the time in the world.
Yeah, and I also will do a quick little bit of math. Hold on a sec. So you're going. So you have dog sleds up till Lonelywood, right? That was the plan.
Oh damn it! It's a wondrous item.
That's how it goes.
Whatever. Anyways, bracers of defense would be nice, but it's wondrous.
Put it on a notepad for now. We'll discuss it if you can't find anything else.
Oh, okay. I'm literally just looking through magic items in D&D Beyond.
Yep, that's totally good. Dude, probably the best way to do it.
You can get the cauldron of
So
plenty.
it only takes you guys. Yeah, get another
Hey.
cauldron. Fred, what a fucking champion.
Get rich quick.
You
yeah.
know.
So you guys are about 4 p.m. that you guys show up at Lonelywood. So it's one of those things that you definitely believe that Kara will say believes it's probably smart to rest here before you leave. It doesn't even mean take a long rest now per se, but just spend the night here so that you have a nice roof over your head, bed to sleep in, sort of thing, before you are braving the wastes on foot. So you could theoretically take the entire rest of the afternoon to actually search heavily through your father's workshop, and then rest the night and just kind of take in what you've learned, or try and focus
Yeah.
on something else if you want.
I think.
I think you have the time, realistically.
Yeah, I think I'll do that actually. Yeah, because I don't even sleep a full night's sleep, and even
Yeah.
when I'm sleeping, I'm kind of conscious, so I can just read or whatever.
Absolutely. So,
Yeah.
we'll do the rolls now, since it's on topic, and we'll end kind
Uh-huh.
of in the workshop or in Lonelywood in general. But let's do, since you're kind of, we'll say you spend a couple hours searching, do me 2, oh no, sorry, you do it this way. Yeah, no, sorry. Do it this way still, but changing my mind once again. 2 investigation rolls, but this is another one of those instances where Chance is going to also kind of do some investigation at your side
Okay.
as a kind of pseudo advantage. So that's his first one. Let's see your first.
Investigation.
You know what? I'm going to be fair to you. I didn't technically roll it as Chance, so we'll try it again. Yeah, Chance is a lot
Hey,
better
much
than
better.
me.
I mean, I need the
Especially
help,
than
so.
yours. Yeah. So first one goes to Chance. He kind of notices something out of the corner of his eye that you totally overlooked. Helps you kind of narrow down a good location. But let's see how much more we can find. Give me one more investigation roll.
Okay.
Oh man, Chance is on point tonight. At least
Yeah,
you know
he
he's
is.
helping. So again, he kind of points you over to a section of the workshop, and you start rummaging through some boxes and things, and he quickly realizes that you're trying to look for items, which doesn't make sense, and he points you in the direction of a whole bunch of notebooks and things that are just kind of strewn about almost haphazardly, since you never really cleaned up this place when you last left, right? And eventually, after looking through a couple different books, you do stumble across 2 or 3 books that are very clearly handwritten journals. At this point, you definitely can tell from a quick glance that they're all related to you and or Chance, or maybe even other projects he was working on at about the same time. But without actually sitting down to read them for a couple hours, that's all you have. Is these are definitely personal notes related.
Yeah, I mean, as soon as I have that, which seems essentially to be exactly what I'm looking for, I'll just, sort of sit there and spend whatever time I have left to try to read as much of it as I can and try to understand it.
Absolutely. So we'll say the group for the most part followed along, just to see what was going on. So at this point, Mace just kind of sits down on a stool that he, picks up off the ground. It was laying on its side, and he starts to read. But the rest of you realize that it's like 7 or 8 o'clock, and I guess the question just kind of wordlessly passes between you all. Are you going to sleep in the workshop tonight, you think? Just pull out some bedrolls, or do you guys want to go and try and find an inn or stay somewhere else? I will remind you, you've been in Lonelywood before, and you know that staying there usually occurred in the village headsman's attic. So it might be even more comfortable just to stay here to be out of other people's hair, but it's ultimately your call where you guys want to go.
Pleuzac's gonna go to the attic of the whatever it was that the
Yeah,
woman.
absolutely, totally fun.
And I'm gonna talk to her too. So we can do that later, or next session or whatever.
Well, I think we have a little bit of time here. We can figure it out. I think it's best to do that now, so we can set you guys off in the morning. Let me go to Lonelywood though and get you the name. Nimsy Huddle is a little halfling commoner. And Nimsy sees you, when you guys first come into town, and basically you tell him, hey, yeah, we're here for the workshop, gotta check some things, and Nimsy lets you go on your way, but sees you come back, Pleuzac, and does anyone else want to go with Pleuzac to the headsman's house instead?
Absolutely not.
Okay. Kara?
Fred, I love you. I hate Pleuzac.
More than Ravenous? I mean, you got along with Ravenous.
Ravenous, I can deal with more than Pleuzac. Yeah.
I got lost in the transit there. What happened?
We're just deciding where people stay. Currently, you're at the workshop of Mace's father. There's really no beds or anything left that are serviceable, so you could choose to lay a bed
Kara has
out
her
here.
hammock. She will find a place. She'll find a place to hang it.
Yeah, you could stay there, or Pleuzac is actually going back to the headsman's house at Lonelywood Village. It's close enough by. It's not like he's far. But
what's the head count? Who went where?
That's what we're trying to figure out. Pleuzac is currently 1 for the headsman's house. Mace is staying at the workshop. It sounds like you want to stay at the workshop, but that's what we're trying to figure out.
I will not leave someone by themselves with paranoia of assassins. So,
okay, so
if
we'll leave your decision
if the only person who remains is Mace, I will stay with Mace.
Yeah, so I think Mallo said he's staying with Mace because Pleuzac went. Leif, are you going to stay in the workshop?
The
or do you
inverse
want to go
is
with Pleuzac?
also possible.
Right.
Yeah.
So that means you're coming with me since I'm the only one going.
Unless Leif wants to go too.
Well, I want to ask my sword what she would prefer. She
As
wants
soon
to
as
sleep
you-
under the stars. Or
Well, so
she'd like
to be
go
fair,
back
you have
to
a roof
town.
over your head either way. It's just
Oh.
the workshop is trashed, and there's really no the one bed in the room has been torn up for what looks like decades. Basically, there's nothing remaining of what was once a straw mattress. So you would just have to roll out a bedroll. You'd still have a roof over your head though. You'd still be inside. But once you draw your sword and ask that question, regardless, she very simply answers, "I have told you once, and I will tell you again. Do whatever you will. That is what I wish most for you."
Very well. Then I guess I'm fucking staying with Mace in his dad's workshop thing.
Okay, so you,
Yeah.
Mallo, and Mace are all staying there. Kara, if your intention is no man goes alone, you would probably end up with Pleuzac back at the headsman's house.
Right on. Perfectly fine with me.
Alrighty, totally good. So yeah, you get there, Pleuzac. You want to ask questions?
Which was exactly what Pleuzac wanted.
Yeah, Pleuzac finally transforms back into the Hex and ganks Kara.
I mean, by our own rules, that doesn't work that way. And if it does, bring it on.
To be fair, I never would have guessed that password, so you're pretty sure, he's legit. I don't think
Yeah.
that one is.
Right. The Hex might not understand. Kara is looking for the fight.
Oh God, no! I'm pretty sure the Hex, if anyone, does understand. Maybe not his kids yet, but regardless.
I'm here to get you. Thank God.
Anyway, so yeah, you get back there. The headsman opens the doors. It's like more than happy to lead you in. It's still only 7 or 8 p.m., not too late. She leads you up to the attic, which, again, it's a halfling's house, so you're kind of
Yeah.
a little bit hunched in there, but for the most part, it's serviceable.
I'm always hunched.
That's
a
true.
turtle.
True. That's very fair.
Um,
Your mushrooms almost hit the
yeah.
roof.
yeah. So I'm gonna ask her. I'm gonna say.
Kara's using a rope to tie her wings together so she doesn't open up the house.
There are rumors going around. Have rumors of this group reached your city, your town?
Good call.
Rimes, not sure. What are the rumors about?
Unfortunately, there's falsehoods being spread about our group working with and for Auril.
Certainly haven't heard
With-
those. Well, say, let me think. Last rumor we heard. Pretty sure it was that the one hunter was sleeping with that guy's daughter, who was a little bit on the young side. He was kind of taken out by a group of guys, and well, they questioned him. A couple of black guys later, we learned that it was a bit of a misunderstanding. Sadly, rumors will be doing that. But no, nothing about Auril's minions. Not around us. Not recently.
Well, if you do hear them, we, Mace, and the party
Oh,
are
that's
on
right. I
our
knew
way.
I recognized you from somewhere. Y'all are him. Well, I guess here's the thing. Whether you're with Auril or not, at the end of the day, our old folk are really more afraid of him than her. So, it doesn't really matter.
Oh, the townsfolk are still afraid of Mace?
The older folk, yeah.
Well, okay, I guess that's fair. They've kind of made peace with it at this point, but it is one of those things that, yeah, their history with him is a bit more. Auril's always been there, but he's real. We met him. You know how it goes.
Well, maybe if we are able to defeat Auril, the old folks of the town can look past their dislike for Mace.
Oh man, I'm sure that'd be nice. Honestly, it comes down to their own guilt, though. I'm not really sure they'll ever get over it.
Very well. And I'm good. I just wanted to see how far.
No, that's totally a
the
great question.
rumors
And
might have
actually,
spread.
you are it's very smart of you to ask that. I will also tell you, because we kind of skipped over the towns, you're being smart enough. Do you think Pleuzac would have tried to go out of his way in, like, Targos or Tourmaline to find out?
If we stopped through there, Kara 100% would have.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I'm going to put
I
it
would
to
have
Fred,
asked
because I think...
anybody that I would have known in those towns, like we would have talked to. So if we stayed at inns or something at those towns,
Yeah.
I would have taken a little side detour.
I don't think you
to
guys would
see
have
if they
necessarily
heard.
stopped at inns, because you pretty much did the straight trip, because it was like 4 hours total.
No, I mean in the past. Like
gotcha.
if we stopped at the
Yes.
inn or the taverns, like if these were actually towns we stopped at.
So I'm just going to do it this way, because honestly, whether it was Pleuzac or Ravnus is kind of up in the air for me. So it doesn't matter for Pleuzac. They don't necessarily recognize you, but guards folk and certain people, especially in Tourmaline, since that's where you guys actually fought the dragon, if memory serves.
Yeah.
They certainly recognize the
was.
party. So Tourmaline, you would ask, and you'd find that the rumors don't seem to have gotten there yet. But Targos, there is very much an inkling of some sort of rumors being spread. It's not as specific is the word that I should use as in East Haven. You know, you were there, and especially being close to Imdra, who captain of the guard, you know, she would have heard things first. You very quickly found the rumors there turning towards that whole asphyxiation thing. In Targos, you basically are like, have you guys heard any of these weird hex rumors? And like one of these 3 guards that you passed eventually goes, oh yeah, I think someone mentioned that in a bar or something, but like, don't know what it's about. So like, you don't get anything in terms of, you know, it's not the hex of stabbing to death.
Yeah.
Right? You don't learn what it is, but there's clearly some presence, just not as much so.
It's starting to spread, but not enough that people are like really picking up on it and everything.
Yeah, it seems that way in Targos at least. And then Tourmaline, like I said, is clean, and Lonely Wood is clean. So yeah.
Yeah, we have good faith in Tourmaline because we literally fought a dragon in their town.
Yeah, it actually is interesting that you guys, you know, the more you bring up, not necessarily bring up, but like definitely talk amongst yourselves and try and remember what towns you've helped and what towns you might not have, because that will become far more relevant once you return from Auril's Island.
I mean, most of the towns on the west side of the 10 towns are ones we have some involvement in. It's the stuff on the northeast side that we have little.
Just be careful, because the word involvement is a very correct term.
I know.
Good or bad help is kind of up in the air depending on where you go. So you definitely helped, quote unquote. But we'll see how much. All right, so with that, though, I'm going to flip it back over to Mace. Let's just get any remaining rolls for tonight out of the way that are on topic. I'm assuming you're trying to look first and foremost through your father's notes?
Yeah.
Okay. So in that case, you can do perception or investigation, your choice. I believe they're different stats.
They're the same. So
Are they? So then let me look at the list, because I like to try at least give you options on both. Do me insight or investigation. That'll work.
Still the same, but okay.
Were they? What did I misread? Investigation is insight is wisdom.
Yes, still same score.
Well, that's your fault, not mine. I'm just trying to give you an option
I'm just saying.
on each. So.
I'm just saying. Yeah. I'll do insight. I'll do insight.
Okay, if you're doing insight, then Chance will do the same to help you. All right, so you beat him out on this one. So you're both kind of, you know, he's like sitting in your arms while you're flipping through the book. Clearly, both of you trying to look over it, and he starts pointing out certain sections in the books as you're flipping through. But you very much actually are the one who noticed the finer details. And I guess at this point, I would posit it to you, since Mace is looking, I'm assuming, for specific things. What is it that you are trying to find first and foremost as you look through these books? What is the topic that will catch your eye?
I would like to know about, I guess, more than the process, the manner of creation for both of us, and if at all available, the thought behind it.
Absolutely. So you would find the thought behind it is actually pretty readily available. It's towards the earlier of the. You found like 3 notebooks roughly, and the one that's kind of the oldest looking. It's the most deteriorated. There's probably the least there that is viable to read, but what you do find is a lot about personal thoughts. And what you kind of discover is very much what you were brought up understanding about yourself. Your father had this great concept in his mind, this grand idea of a champion of the frozen wastes, someone who could protect the people from the madness that Auril has created. Even if he couldn't necessarily stand toe-to-toe with Auril himself, he believed that if this champion was strong enough in the right ways, it would be possible to, basically have them wander the 10 towns and solve any problems that not necessarily couldn't be solved by adventurers per se, but he would be more of a dedicated champion, someone that people would know and would love and would look to for help, and he would be supported by the people the same way he would support the people, was kind of the grand
More
concept,
than just a
right?
mercenary, yeah.
Yeah. So you find a lot of those kind of grand beliefs, but you can kind of also tell that it's the start of the idea. It's what he wants, not necessarily what he might achieve. And as you start looking through these later notebooks, you realize that he does start running into the problems of reality. That, it's much harder to create this being than he thought, and even if he does everything right, there's going to be limitations in what he can do and what his knowledge can bring about. But you do also kind of notice a shift where he goes through this stage of kind of like a depression of not being able to achieve his dream, but he slowly starts to recognize that what he is able to achieve and the thing that he's creating in you, he's actually starting to love like his own child. You know, he's talking about it less using the term it, using the term he more. He's starting to reference you, you know, more like not necessarily a family member per se, but a person, not a thing. And then it does eventually turn even warmer in tone, especially towards sections when you are active and being taught. Um, and it's one of those things that you kind of recognize that this idea of this champion has kind of shifted from this all-powerful being to just wanting what he's created to kind of be successful in what he was
Right.
hoping for you. Um, so it's kind of more brought down to earth. The interesting thing, though, is when you finally turn to the third notebook, which is more about chance. This notebook is very different. He doesn't ever talk about chance as a he. He only talks about it as it, or the shell, strangely. It seems more chance, at least in terms of the hammer, the weapon, is supposed to be a containment unit? Something like that? It's weird. It's not... Even the notes don't seem inherently the same as what the rest of your father's notes were, especially the notebook about you. You know, it all had this kind of similar tone to it, that notebook, and all the things in it were kind of step by step, and it made sense, and you could see crossouts or notes about things that failed and how he progressively got to the point of making you. But in the notebook about chance, it's not like that. A lot of the times he just has like ideas written down, or there's like steps, but the steps don't make sense. There's weird gaps, there's logical inconsistencies. It almost feels like it didn't matter what your father was doing. This thing that he wanted Chance to be, it wasn't an idea he understood, nor was it something that he was more than a vessel for creating. And
Right.
you basically can tell that maybe not even he truly understood what Chance was. He understood what he thought he was making, which was a warhammer that was supposed to aid you with some capacity for personal thought. But there's really not much about where that comes from, the thought, or you know how this thing would actually come to be, um, except for one specific note, which is my sacrifice might be great, but in the end it will be worth it. And that's kind of like a boldened note towards the end of the notebook. That's really the last thing you see that seems like it has any value.
Mm.
And that's about everything you
guess-
can glean.
Just on the off chance, I hate that the puns are gonna happen
Mhm.
whether I want it or not. But on the off chance that he knows something, a last chance, like, do you know what he meant by sacrifice?
Chance just says, not really, but I guess by everything that's written here, I might have taken more to create than you.
Well, you're certainly special, but
Yeah, I mean, so
to the
were
point
you?
that he describes it is, what cost did he pay?
I don't know. I'd like to find out someday too.
And does this diary give me any more notions as to Chance's at least original designated um specs or capabilities?
Yes and no. You see a lot of ideas in that notebook written down for what Chance can do, quote unquote, but none of them seem very
Set in stone.
sensical. No, it's more like, I guess let's put it this way. As you're looking through, right, you'll find pages where it's just like test 3B, hit with Chance, or not at that point it wouldn't have been Chance. What was the original name of your hammer?
Breaking point.
The breaking point. Thank you. So he'd be like tapped with breaking point, turned into duck. Day 3A, tapped with breaking point, harder, turned into egg. Like, it's these really weird notes that really don't make much sense. Very clearly,
Right.
there's things happening because of the breaking point that you haven't even seen it do. But
Right.
it almost feels like it's because he's like tuning it or trying to dial in the functions or something. Like, it's magical functions, but not ones that you've even seen your hammer do or have any sense that it can do. So
Yeah.
you kind of gain an understanding that maybe there's more Chance can do that you haven't seen yet, but short of either, trying to explore with Chance or figure it out between the two of you, the notebook doesn't give you much guidance in that regard.
Yeah, okay.
If anything, I would say because you're looking for that, it just makes you feel that once again, if the notebook about you shows your father's deep understanding and insights towards building you, the more you read this notebook about Chance, the more you feel the exact opposite about him. Your father really didn't understand very much of what he was getting into in that regard.
Okay. Makes sense. Okay. Yeah, I think that satisfies me.
Okay. Do you want to, since it's on topic, try and do any meditations right now?
Oh, sure, yeah. Why not?
Okay. Specifically, what for? Chance, the medallion, the. I guess you could technically do it on the necklace if you wanted to try, or the phrase. We'll just
The
choose
phrase.
one for the end of the night. Okay. So I guess we'll do the same thing as before. Do me another insight roll, and Chance will do the advantage with you, help you out. Ooh, both of you
Yikes.
failing. Okay.
Yeah.
I will say that at this point it's probably worth staging out. So with at least above a 5, you will get one thing. So I will let you do this. Roll me a d4. Alrighty. So, let me do it this way. We'll be right back, gentlemen. Just because I don't want them to hear the necessary whole phrase yet, that's up to you to pass to them. So, in this instance, as you're focusing on the phrase, you feel it once again in your mind. The one who seeks my power has overstepped his bounds. A deal has been established. Rules have been created. And slowly but surely, as you play that line over and over in your head, something shifts. The one who seeks my power has overstepped his bounds. A deal has been bound. Rules have been created. That word has now shifted. So you've at least unlocked one.
Which word shifted?
Established has now changed to bound.
Ah, okay.
The one who seeks my power has overstepped his bounds. A deal has been
deal has been
established,
bound,
has
okay.
changed to a deal has been bound. Rules
Gotcha,
have been
okay.
created. So now you're starting to see a slight shift, at least in some of those meanings. So,
Okay.
alrighty, pop us back up. I'll see you up there.
Mhm.
Well, yeah, but I still have my love-hate relationship with it.
Alrighty. So with that, I think that's basically everything that we'll do with you for today, Mace. Anyone else want to pause it or do anything before we call it a quote-unquote long rest at the end of the session and call it for the night?
Nothing that requires a full group of people for it. It's just discussion of the magic item.
Absolutely. More than happy to hang around for that. Anyone else?
No, I'm good.
I'm
Alright.
good.
I'm good.
Fantastic, everyone. Well, thank you so much. That was a wonderful session in my mind. That was a lot
Awesome,
of RP.
yeah. It was great to get back into.
Yeah, it's hilarious too because it's one of those things I have so much set up, right? It's the classic, do I have enough prepared? And
Over prepared, yeah.
yeah, you guys did so much RP tonight that we didn't even touch like the first encounter, towards the next step towards Angajuk and all that. So always fun though. I love the RP sessions. So you guys learned a lot tonight, I think. So there's a lot to chew on for next session.
I mean, my favorite parts of the session were just as follows. What's your password?
Oh yeah.
Yes, that was so great. It literally like you guys have been sitting on that since probably session 20, 25,
Less.
Yeah.
We're at 40 now, so it's basically been like half the time, if not more, that you guys have been sitting on those. So it's
We've
fantastic.
been
that they
together
finally
the
came in.
entire time. We haven't had reason not to.
Mm-hmm. Well, and honestly,
I am
it especially considering what I did with Fred playing Fetid the last session, it gave such a great organic way for the party to actually tell that it was truly Pleuzac coming back. So
For sure.
totally great. And Mallo waking up from 10 years of darkness, just being like, I wish I could remember. I want to remember for once. I can't.
All right, I am gonna hop off here because
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyone who's looking to
Good night.
go, have a great night. Thanks again,
Have a
guys.
great night, guys.
I'll
guys.
probably bug you this week.
Anytime, man. Yeah, and like, and it actually, again, goes out to all of you. If there's any Mysterium stuff that you feel like you want to do that you didn't think of, just hit me up. It's until next session, it's up in the air. We can just set it then. So
The Mysterium, like the
shop, I should say.
vendor.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
what
it
I was
is-
just
It
telling
is the
them.
same
There's-
name. You're
there's
totally correct, and it is totally
so,
confusing.
okay.
But
I was like, what? No, there's like so much. Like you type an item into D&D Beyond,
yes,
and you're
yeah.
reading for 70
Yeah.
years.
Well, and that's one of those things, especially as someone newer to the game, if you want to just come chat with us, any of us at any point, we can help you kind of direct
not
what sort of items you might want.
Just not
all of
me,
us have
course,
seen.
because I'm garbage.
No,
No, yeah,
literally
your
all of us,
computer
dude.
doesn't even work.
Your computer might be shit, but I'm pretty sure that you've got a general concept of D&D items. So.
Your computer is a reflection of yourself, so that means you're shit.
Oh,
Well,
is it?
it's like
well, fuck.
the big-
So I'm old, I guess, is what that means.
Mine also is old and full of things that people have given me. Like
That's true.
outside
Yours is
with
probably
work.
even older. So.
Yeah.
The thing that you got to think about is like, how do you play your character
With the computer.
Well, actually,
Wow.
I wonder though. Even to your
Thanks,
point,
Dad.
Blake, you were trying to use those rifles before, and it was kind of being an
Oh,
issue.
he had a great idea
We
for
could-
that.
No, that's fine. If you do have a good idea, go for it. That's fine. I mean, you can actually research them. I think I told you that before, but it's a mechanic you can do during long rests to try and gain proficiency over time if you want. Or I could just, if you really want to trade something to Gemini and Marino, I can create like a uncommon ring of firearms. It gains you proficiency in firearms. Like we can find a way. So.
You want to hear his idea? It was fucking choice.
I
Whatever,
feel like
people work
Rick knows about this. It's just fucking like every time we're out, like before I go to bed, just for like an hour or two, I summon my Echo with a laser rifle.
And just start shooting at it.
He hands it to me and then proceeds to run in a zigzag fashion
Yeah.
away from me. I never waste any ammo, and
No,
I
totally.
shoot the laser rifles millions of times.
Yeah, so that would actually work great. There's actually a mechanic in the player's hand guide or DMG. I forget which one it is. One of the traditional rule books for researching alien artifacts. So we will do it where that is your method of research, but you'll still just do the research roll. And essentially, it's an int roll or a whiz roll. I'd have to look, but over time,
believe it's
with
intelligence.
enough succeed, you get like 4 successes over a period of time, and you basically gain proficiency.
Okay.
So yeah, you basically would just start doing that at long rests. Totally fine, and yeah, you just gain proficiency over time.
And that's just
Well,
like
yeah,
an
I mean, I guess-
image of Shadow Lake going meep meep and running off into the
Yeah.
distance.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it'd be hilarious too. He gets to the frat house of Shadow Leifs once he dies, and they're like, "What happened to you? Got shot in the back." What? Yeah, the guy that summons us, he shot me in the back, and then
With
like
a
all the other
laser
echoes
gun.
are just like, "Whoa, hold on, dynamic has shifted. I thought we were supposed to help him. He's gonna kill us now? What the fuck?"
Now the echoes come out when they get summoned. They're like a little pissy. They're like,
Yeah.
no,
No, what the
no,
fuck?
I'm not.
man?
I'm not going over there.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Yeah, I heard you're gonna shoot me in the back.
Well, I summoned you to sleep with Kara. I don't know how I feel about this anymore.
Hold on. So I get a shot at her as long as you get to shoot at me. Right.
Right.
Okay. You know what? Fuck it. Let's go for it.
What's that movie where
Everyone's
they,
just like, yeah, okay, it's still Leif.
the like Mayans are running out down the field while they're shooting arrows at them or something?
yeah.
Like that.
Yeah.
Fucking wonderful.
Yeah.
You smell like you were eating food.
But yeah, I
Were you
mean,
eating food?
the laser rifles. Yeah, I got those. Can I take this helm of telepathy off? I can't remember
Anytime
if
you
it's
want.
ac-
Yeah. Yeah.
I couldn't remember if
absolutely.
it was actually joined to my head.
No. It's not joined to you, but if you do remove it, you don't get the effects of it. Is all.
Yeah, I don't know because
It's
I
your
got.
call.
Yeah,
You
I don't
can
know.
even-
Yeah,
at this
well, I'll
point,
talk.
That's
about
technically a magic item. You could trade that into Gemini and Marino
Well,
as well. Yeah. So. No
it.
problem.
I have that plus I have the trident that
Trident,
I
yep.
originally got. Yeah.
Yep.
I don't know. Maybe some armor or something would fucking.
Leif's gonna come out here like, I thought about it for 2 weeks, and really, there's only one thing that my character has ever dreamed of.
Oh my god.
I need a +1 net.
I've been thinking about a net. That's gonna be my next character that I build.
But
is
you gotta
just
give him a +2 net, just
Con-
because.
Con de la Forte's only weapon is a net.
Oh,
I was
God.
looking at the Bracers of Defense, Ring of Free Action, Ring of Protection, Ring of Jumping, immovable rod.
You already had the Ring of Warmth though, so you can only.
They have.
Oh, that's
an
true,
immovable
okay.
rod. All right, I gotta get off here and go do dog stuff.
Absolutely. Have a good night, man.
I'll target you
I
guys.
would tell you, Harrison, honestly, especially with where your AC is, the bracers of the fence are probably on the table. You're at what, a 16? You'd put you up to an 18. That's the same as Kara. That's
And me.
basically the same as
Past
Tread.
me.
Yeah. Well,
I'm 17 now.
well, no. You still have a normal shield. As far as I'm aware, you
If
never.
I want to use it,
Yes,
yeah,
very
but
true. I just mean you can achieve that same AC. So can I mean Mace is way up there. Leif is at a 17 or a 16, 17 I think, because he's chainmail
Yeah,
plus 1. So it's not like it it really doesn't make you broken compared to your party or anything. It just brings you in
No.
line. So it's definitely on the table, even though it's wondrous. So if those are the ones you really want to go with, I think that would probably be fine.